See, Shan's federal government meeting, electricity workers back strike. That's the subsidy due to the fuel. Now, PDP wants Tinubu to make asset declaration public. Well, you can say that this is what I have. Everything else that they have, they put it in the names of some their families and cronies and stuff like that. Well, what do you think? Now, suspected caught his staff colleague to death over debt in Delta, and the 1 killed, 8 injured in Lagos Ibadan Expressway crash once again, and the 4 persons escaped death in Ilorin auto crash. So that's been lots of crashes. The 10 people are killed as bandits raid villages in Sokoto. Now, I've not heard any of these attacks in Sokoto, so this seems to be quite there. Okay, and can leaders supporting Tinubu's presidency because he is not a radical Muslim cleric. Or the Christian Association of Nigeria, they think that he's not a radical cleric. But this is a case where we have the vice, who seem to be, because in the past, we've seen pictures of him or videos of him where he was interacting with some of these terrorists. Maybe that is something there. But do you think that he being an old guy, working with this young guy who's going to be, who is the vice president, do you think, and especially when we know that the APC or virtually is being controlled by the Northern Caucus, do you think we're going to see anything different from there? You want more, you're going to get more. But wherever you are, don't you go away. Continue to stay with us, because once we have Mr. Olaimi Koiki, we'll be bringing you more from there. All right, then. So moving on straight to some other stories making the rounds this morning, especially. Just bear with me. Yes, especially from the parts of the world on the African continent. Now, Cam returns to the streets of Dakar after 72 hours of violence. Now, clashes erupted on Thursday after sentencing of opposition leader Osman Sonko to 2 years in jail. Now, so what is the president going to do about that? Is he going to, give a presidential pardon and maybe say that you will not be able to run for the elections? Or what is going to happen there? And then voters await results in Guinea-Bissau elections. And Antigua and Barbuda Rastafari granted authorization to grow hemp. What hemp do you think they are going to be growing? You got it. Okay, now in Morocco, hundreds in Casablanca protest high cost of living. Bet you across the globe, everybody seems to be protesting the high cost of living. But what do you think about it there? Uganda says 54 of its AU soldiers killed in May 26. And that is a bad one. Now, South Africa, power cut suspended until further notice. Well, have they got the means to actually support that? Because if you don't have the supplies, okay, and then you say, okay, we suspend it. Is it your machinery? Is it the fuel that or the gas that was being used to fuel the plants or the generators that has caused that, or that is what was causing whatever was going on? What do you think about that? It is all coming your way from Star Radio UK. Now moving on straight to Ghana. Encourage acquisition mergers of banks and NBFIs if needed. IMF tells government. Now remember that government, the Bank of Ghana, the Bank of Ghana decided with a coalition with government to shut some banks down, and a few of them, and people have lost their jobs and all stuff that has happened there. However, the Bank of the IMF is telling government that, we are encouraging you, those banks that are not performing well, you can merge them, and NBFIs, merge them, and maybe that will make them stronger. So maybe the stronger ones will swallow the weaker ones. But when that happens, you know for sure what happens next. That is, some people will be laid off. But what do you think about all that? It's all happening in Ghana as well. It's all Star Radio UK. No coalition to insert illegal names in ASIN not voters register. That's what the EC is saying. Well, it's going to be interesting there. Come the 27th. Is it 27 or 29? I think it's 27th. Yeah. 27. That election is going to be taken there. Another by-election, because the MPP seem to be saying that, you know what? This will be a reflection of what is going to happen in 2024 general election. But what do you think about all that? Lots more going to become your way. Harina launches operation over 1.5 million votes for Mahama in Ashanti. Well, let's see. And then events of June 4 must spare leaders to work for brighter future. Well, have our leaders failed us? have they been? What have they been actually doing at all? Okay. It is Star Radio UK. Lots more going to be coming your way from there. But now, let's move on to other parts of the world as well. And let's see what's happening there. Okay? So, in other parts of the world, Russia says it thwarted major Ukrainian offensive. Now, Kyiv hasn't responded to the claim. The latest sign an expected Ukrainian counteroffensive may have begun. Well, they said it thwarted the effort and might have killed about 250 Ukrainian soldiers. The moms and babies heading home to the front line. Thousands of Ukrainians are moving back to towns close to the front line despite the dangers. People want to be in their own, call it shacks, and then make sure that they are living their lives, whatever it is. They say that this is my home, this is where I belong to, but there's the risk pertaining to the war being on the front line. What do you think about that? Indian Railways seek police probe into deadly crash. The railway minister announced the decision but did not give more details. What's going to happen? I pray that we find him. Desperate hunt for a missing person, for the missing. Okay, relatives of victims of the Indian train crash tells of their struggle to locate loved ones. A very sad one. A woman has been pardoned after 20 years in jail for baby deaths. Now, a recent inquiry had fresh evidence that Kathleen Folbig did not kill her 4 children. My goodness. A Hong Kong detained on Hong Kongers detained on Tiananmen anniversary. Okay, more going to be coming your way from there. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. A huge anti-government protest in Polish capital Warsaw. War with US will be unbearable disaster. That's what the Chinese minister is saying. There shouldn't be any war. We don't want no war. No war. A mom demands apology for killer son and his victim. 10 days after leaving a psychiatric unit, David Fleet stabbed a man who was walking his dog. And then, moving on to some other stories. Prince Harry, hacking case against Mirror back in court, and he's going to be giving evidence. And he's going to be the for the first royal, a senior royal, who has appeared in court, or is appearing in court, for, I think, about 136 years ago. So, this and a lot more going to be coming your way. Wherever you are, don't you go away. Star Radio UK, 10:59. And as we wait for Mr. Olaimi Koike to join in, let's enjoy this tune. And we will continue with it. Yes, it is Star Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. The Monday edition of the morning show. Everlasting to everlasting from Pastor Theodora Boache Answer. Enjoy.
Oh, great I am. mobile phone. The best radio show.
For you and I are the creator who was not created. King who has no successor. Flower that never fades. Abba Father, we worship. Thy kingdom come. Thy kingdom come. We call you Emmanuel.
This is Star Radio. This is Star Radio UK. All around the world. Are you ready to tell it all?
Okay, Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to exactly 3 minutes past the top of the hour. And I was Pastor Theodore Abwachians, I say, everlasting to everlasting. The kingdom of God never comes to an end. But well, Star Radio UK is here to bring you everything that you need to know pertaining to where you are. So wherever you're listening to us from, you want to share with us what is happening, feel free to do so, because we are here to also, somebody say, propagate. What about that? What is going on? But I can tell you assuredly, I've got with me the White Lion himself, who is also here to propagate what is happening from Niger. So wherever you are, get yourself ready for updates from Nigeria. But let me say good morning to you, Mr. Lion Mikoike.
Well, a very good morning to you back in the studio, Mr. Archie. Good morning, Frank. Good morning to Mr. Dante. The money man, because we need a lot of money in Africa, and we need to find out that money, will be able to be available for as many of Africans and mostly Nigerians as well. A very good morning to all our listeners and those that have joined us on the sister broadcast where we are transmitting. Good afternoon for those that are watching us in other part of the globe, because like I always say, the world is a very beautiful one. Wherever you are, make sure you tune in to Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. And I'll come back again to you in the studio after a very beautiful long week. And like I said, it seems the house is a bit more quiet since the children have returned back to school. After the week with us.
That's a good one. We know the kids, they love being at home a bit, and we have to be with them. And then when they leave, then everything becomes quiet. We do miss them though, don't we? Yes, we do. Yeah, so how was your weekend, sir?
Well, I had a very great weekend, especially, after the beautiful birthday celebration. And it seems that the weekend, was a little bit packed, visitors, and likewise, more time with the family, and likewise monitoring what is happening, on the other side of the globe as well. But I think I had more sleep, than I was expecting, even though, the house was a little bit much busier than it used to be. But now that everybody seems to have, gone back to their different bases, the visitors that came in. And it's always good, when, you spend that quality time, because we're living in a world today where an average parent is not spending time anymore, with their families, whether back home or even those in the rural area are leaving those communities trying to find, something in the city. So my weekend was very good. I don't know about yours, but I had a very great weekend. Yeah, I had a good one as well. I'm busy, but it was okay. Busy. You have a few activities here and there that you need to see to, but it was all good. It was all good. And our listeners, we hope they are listening to us, and Nigeria didn't happen to you. So keep your dial so logged on Star Radio UK. Okay, now let's go to some of the stories that made the rounds over the weekend, or what is happening in Nigeria today. Now, remember that during Buhari's tenure, the latter part, so let me call it sometime last year, Professor Banji Akintoye penned a letter to him pertaining to the stance of the Yoruba people or the Yoruba nation. Okay, now they never responded to it. Now, during few maybe interviews or statements, they will dish in something saying that they will not allow that or that. So a few things there. But now he thinks that maybe another one to be penned. And this around to President Tinubu. And so maybe Tinubu might be somebody who, because he hails from that part of the country, might be someone who might hearken to it because his own people. What about that? Well, I mean, if you want to put it in that format, one thing, we've got to understand is, if you're asking for something, just as we do here in UK, you have to engage, the government. Engagement of a government is not a crime. And this is something that, a lot of people do not understand. You need to continue to have an engagement. You did talk about, the engagement that we wanted to have, with the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, is currently back in his base in Daura. I'm sure is monitoring and following, as many of the activities happening in Nigeria today. But one thing is, you're quite right. Finally, after, Tinubu has been sworn in on the 29th, Professor Akintoye Banji did not waste as much time, all he has done now. The following day, the 30th of May, a letter has now been sent under the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement to the President-elect Bola Tinubu. You did talk about Tinubu being a Yoruba man. Yes, he's a Yoruba man, but we're already been told by Tinubu that, he wants the unity of one Nigeria. I think Professor, from the letter that we have been analyzing, since that letter came to the wire through, his press secretary from Benin Republic, Professor was very, very clear. He didn't go into the details from the letter you talked about to Buhari, because the letter to Buhari was more details, taking us back to history. This particular one is just a 7-page, and I'm just going to go straight to, what we can call, in conclusion. So in conclusion literally means that, it gives us a proper overview. This letter can be found later on the Star Radio UK, network as well, and is also on the sister broadcast as well. In conclusion to this statement, we Yoruba applaud the noble assurance which our brother, the new president of Nigeria, uttered in his inaugural address. We refer to the following statement in his address: our administration shall govern on your behalf, but never rule over you. We shall consult and dialogue, but never dictate. These are what Tinubu said during his inaugural speech. We shall reach out to all, but never be put down a single person for holding their views contrary to our own, which says that, if Tinubu is going to go through that path, it will be different from Buhari, because Buhari was a government that was not listening at all. He refused to listen to the Biafra. He listened to the Ijaw people. He refused to listen to even those that have been, incapacitated in Nigeria, especially that are different from his view. And it seems that Buhari is pained about certain things that he eventually put the dot circle that allowed Twitter to remove him. And he also said, if Twitter is going to remove me as the president, I will make sure that Twitter suffered that. And Twitter suffered that for 6 months. We is kinsmen. You also talked about, Yoruba man. Yes, Professor Banji Akintoye stated there that Tinubu is our kinsman, but we hope that with everything he has said, the most important thing, going back to a little bit of this, Buhari was supported by Tinubu for 8 years. President Tinubu has also had the opportunity to become the president. And exactly 8 years ago, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, energetic, sincere, and dedicated assistant to another Nigerian president, is also allowed to be a president. But Professor said it clearly that Nigerians stand at this moment in a devastating pains of an unresolved nationality. The reason why the Yorubas are asking for their right, and the Biafra and the Middle Belt, is because of what we call the nationality. The nationality aspect of that is not clear anymore. Who are Nigerians, who are Yorubas, and who are these 250 ethnic groups? He went on to say, before coming back to you, as highly prospective leader of another African country remarked recently, the nation of Nigeria hate one another. Take note of that word, hate. Hate is something that the British government around the world tried to make sure that we can live side by side, even if our views, even if our ethnics are different. But it seems that the hatred in Nigeria has steadily escalated since independence, and yet the political leaders of Nigeria strangely choose to keep Nigeria as one country. That is the letter that has now been sent to the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, saying that we, the Yorubas, we will negotiate with you, since what we are asking for is a non-violent movement, and that literally means that it does not matter whether Tinubu is a Yoruba man, is a government, and a government would always want to have a view. The view might be different, but Tinubu says every view will matter, even if it might not likely want to go with it. So we don't know what is going to happen. We will have to wait for more days and weeks until Tinubu will respond. But President Muhammadu Buhari refused to respond to the letter that was sent to him in August last year. Star Radio UK, it is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London, and I'll come back again to you in the studio.
Well, listeners have this from Nigeria. But if we take it that Tinubu, who hails from that area, with a statement, his inaugural statement that he made, where he's talking about the fact that he thinks that there is a need for everybody to be treated fairly and everything of the sort. So let me put it this way. Now, being one advocate for the Yoruba nation. Now, do you think that if Tinubu now puts things in place so that everybody is not marginalized, especially his own kinsmen are not marginalized but are treated fairly, do you think with a letter that Professor had penned, do you think that there will be any need for the Yoruba or the South? Yes, and all the various groups to say that we are still living. Do you think there will be the need for that?
Well, it depends on what people have been saying. As many Nigerians believe that Nigeria needs to just be restructured so that, we can have a full autonomy of, the current political dispensation that has been going on, since 1959. I was studying an article that was written last year by a journalist in Nigeria, and he said it seems that it's the same rhetoric. We're going to provide as many services. These were part of the campaign trail of Bafemi Awolowo, Azikiwe, and Tafawa Balewa, Ahmed Bello, during the 1959 as Nigeria was going in through, the independent, and 63 years after, we are still asking for the same thing. Even though you're right, Tinubu, understand the regional government that he must have enjoyed, during that period, because during the regional government, everyone had access to control their resources, and that gave the free education. And as at the time, the part of Yoruba land, what we can call Nigeria, was almost at the same par with Singapore. When you look at Singapore today, Singapore was a third world country in the 60s, but you cannot call Singapore another third world country. So what does literally mean that you're asking if Tinubu could a little bit reverse things, and maybe that will suppress the agitation or those that are asking for the right to self-determination. The question that people have been asking is that going to happen after 8 years? Then what happened next? Tinubu is going to be there for only 8 years. He will be completing his tenure, God's willing, in 2031, and then the power reverses again. So even if Tinubu does as much, how much more will make an indigenous person wants to be called a Nigerian or a proper name called the Yoruba people or the Biafra or the Ijaw people, and likewise the remaining 250 ethnic groups? But time will tell. But the first step in every situation is keep that conversation going, keep that communication line open, because we don't want to end up being like Sudan, where communication right now has broken and has led to so many lives that have died. There is still not communication between Russia and Ukraine, and that is why there's a situation there as we speak. If you follow what is happening, the Serbia-Kosovo is about to break up as well. So communication must continue to be engaged and open, even in the midst of disagreement between the two sides, and that is exactly what Professor have said, that this is a non-violent movement, and we will continue to engage with any government. And since Buhari is no longer in power, that means Bola Tinubu will be the one that we have to engage with until we continue with the actualization of the Yoruba people coming out of Nigeria peacefully.
Yes, it's quite interesting, because I was looking at, whilst you were speaking, I was just trying to analyze and remember when the Yoruba movement seemed to have started. I'm looking at 4 to 5 years. I mean, top most, about 6 years, because it was when the insecurity issues started going up and farms were being rampaged and people's lives were being taken, that Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho came on to say that no, that shouldn't happen. And therefore, if the government is not going to do anything about it, then there's a need for us to break away and then we can take care of our people. So he was looking at the interests of his people in general. So I'm looking at it. That is the Christian Association of Nigeria, saying that, you know what, Tinubu is not a radical Muslim, but we know that the APC seem to be controlled some way somehow by the Northern Caucus. So I don't know how they're all going to be piling up. So that maybe is Tinubu just going to be a stooge that have been put in place and then going to be doing the bidding of them, though he's not a radical person. What are we going to be seeing? But do you think that what Khan is saying there, that they think that he's not a radical Muslim, and this unrest and everything, marginalization that people now woke up to happened only about, call it 6 years. And now there is a need, or things will work out nicely if Tinubu puts his foot on the ground. And that should calm everything down. What do you think?
Well, you're quite right. I think the reason why, that is being said, and that is right there, Bola Tinubu, the president, and the Khan president as well. Remember that during the election campaign, there was a lot of pressure, that why is, Tinubu going with the, Muslim ticket? This is, it has happened before, but it seems that, as many Nigerians were not very comfortable with it. So our president is a liberal Muslim. We know that the wife is a Christian. And Tinubu says, you can practice whatever you believe in. Even if you don't believe in a Muslim or Christian, you believe in your tradition, which we have a lot of them, not just in Yoruba side, we have them in, other parts, of the country as well. But what actually, could make, some of the leaders of the Christian Association of Nigeria that have rooted for and ensure the victory of Bola Tinubu on the 25th, during the election, because he's not a radical Muslim who will marginalize Christian in the country. There is evidence based out there, even America said it. It seemed Buhari was a little bit much more, in favor of, the Muslims as against the Christians. And we saw that because the killings, in the Christian part, especially the southern Kaduna, we've seen so much killings and destructions of lives and property. And you were talking about, just to conclude a little bit more, I was looking at how many people died, in 30 years of what the law war, according to, Wikipedia says, when I was looking back to, the Irish and the UK government trying to square things out. Nigerians, as Yoruba people, have lost 29,000 Yoruba people in 8 years of President Muhammadu Buhari's, tenure. I don't have the record of how many Christians have been killed in total in Nigeria, but it seems that President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president, was a little bit lenient, in dealing square with the terrorism in Nigeria. There was more focus in target of the Christians, not just in Benue State, but in Plateau State, and as much as possible as well. We saw that as well. So Tinubu will have to be somebody that would not be as radical, according to the, Mr. Kwanko, a former Christian Association of Nigeria National Director for Legal Services and Public Affairs. Star Radio UK, I'll come back again to you in the studio as we continue to review the news headline coming out of Nigeria, being the 5th day of June, 2023.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olaimi Koike in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you updates from Nigeria. It comes your way every weekday from 10 a.m. The broadcast starts at 11 o'clock. Yomi joins in to bring you that, and there are very other excerpts of the program that comes on as well. So make sure your dials are logged on Star Radio UK every weekday, and I tell you, you will enjoy it. Okay, now let's move on straight to another story pertaining to the president. Now, some are calling him to declare his assets. Now, we know, unlike this place where, in this part of the world that we live, where data is all connected and there's a way that they can, at the press of one button, they can tell who Yomi is, what ventures that is got, how much he's making, and everything. Everything is captured there. But when it comes to Nigeria or Africa as a whole, or developing countries, we don't have those things. So calling him to come and declare his assets, is it a requirement by the Constitution, or some are just trying to use that as another reason for him to, make some noise or something of the sort? What is it?
Well, before you become a president, you must, tell us what you have and what you don't have. Because the last thing we want to see is that, after you've left the government, it seems that your bank account has increased, you've opened more extra account across the world. Let's come back again to, because we're still going to be referencing back to, the former president, Muhammadu Buhari, that have also, made us to have a bit of, some of his assets. Over the weekend, Buhari have now submit asset declaration form, and guess what says? His livestock have reduced. So it seems that, the cow that Buhari has in Daura has reduced. But let's go straight to that as well. The former president have submitted his asset declaration form, and the Code of Conduct Bureau on Saturday have acknowledged the receipt of the form. The senior special advisor to former president of media and publicity, Garba Shehu, made his note on Saturday as he shared the acknowledged slip. And when we talk about acknowledge, this is what we say to those that are saying that, I know we're a little bit diverted slightly when somebody said we have declared a nation, we have submitted letters, but she has not given any kind of acknowledged slip. And you wonder, how can that be possible? Let's come back to the question in hand now. Is Tinubu going to declare his asset? Because we know that Tinubu has, quite a lot of asset, as a former governor, he says he's a businessman. He hasn't tampered with any money. He never worked with the government of Buhari for 8 years. Even the wife, Remi Tinubu, told us, during the inaugural speech that they are so rich that they won't need any, government money. But we'll have to wait and see. So why is that asset declaration something that is popping up? It's because the PDP wants Tinubu to make asset declaration public. And that way that, when the time comes after 8 years or 4 years, should Tinubu leave office, we need to know what he has. The People's Democratic Party has called on Bola Tinubu, President, and Vice President Kashima Shettima to take a clue from the late President Umaru Yar'Adua by publicly declaring their asset as a demonstration of their determination to lead by example.
Well, are they going to lead by example? Or is it going to be one of those things where they say something else and they do something else? What do you think? Let us hear from you. It is Star Radio, okay? It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. But we thought that maybe the security issues in Nigeria might have been resolved with the inception of a new government in place. But it seems that that is not it. So we've had some kidnappings that have gone on in Sokoto. Can you tell us more about that?
Over the weekend, it's been another, bloodbath of killings and maiming and also destructions of lives and property. And we pray, for those that have been affected. 37 people were killed as the terrorists raided a village in Sokoto State. We can show you, as they were being buried. The question then is, I know Tinubu have just got in, is still under a week, because when we calculate, last week, Monday to now, so Tinubu is just settling a week. He's dealing with a lot, especially with the fuel subsidy, and he has already spoken as well. I'm going to play that clip later on. There was an attack on 3 settlements, at Tangaza local government area of Sokoto State, as said to have resulted to the death of 37 persons and the injuries of several more due to the resident alleged reluctancy. I mean, imagine the terrorists are asking them to pay levels. I know Tinubu hasn't made any changes. He met with the security, on Friday. So we are waiting to see whether he's going to carry on with what Buhari left or there will be changes. But what we can say is one of the community sources claimed that the terrorists also scattered supporters who had come to carry out a funeral rite for the deceased. Raka Dutsu and Finlangawa are the communities that were targeted. Also, we know that in Ekiti State, someone was killed there as well, and there was another killing that took place, outside, Sokoto State as well. So Tinubu has a lot to look into the insecurity in Nigeria. But it seems that Tinubu is still dealing with the fuel subsidy that he believes that by removing it, which he didn't remove because Buhari actually removed it because the 12 subsidy is not included in the 2023 budget. But there's also information out there that subsidy was not paid for 8 years. We are still investigating that to ask, if subsidy were not paid in 8 years. The question then is, who was taking this subsidy payment? But this is what Tinubu had to say in the 30-second clip that I picked up over the weekend.
Tough decisions. Why should I be paying subsidized petrol for Cameroon, for Niger, for Benin Republic? No matter how long you protest, we are going to remove subsidy.
Well, you had him there. So it seems that Tinubu needs as much money to deal with the insecurity, and that subsidy doesn't seem to be going back. But there's already NLC that we're going to touch on later on. But for now, there is still as many killings of innocent Nigerians over the weekend by the terrorists operating in the country, and we pray and hope that this can be at least put to a minimum, because for every life that is lost, it means a lot for humanity.
Well, listen to Star Radio UK updates from Nigeria, 11:28 the time in the North London studios. Mr. Olaimi Koikam Archie here in the South studios, and let's continue now. So has Tinubu appointed a new security chief, or is the old ones that are still there? And what do you think? Who is going to be the one that he can appoint to maybe see to some way somehow see to address this issue?
Well, not much has changed, in terms of, the appointment. We know that it's going to take Tinubu 60 days from what, his media aide, Dele Alake, that has already been appointed as a spokesperson for the president. There's also a few, individuals that have been given appointment, but no security, changes have been made so far. Or we can confirm that, the President Tinubu announced the appointment of the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, as the Chief of Staff, COS, in Abuja. There's also, the President also appointed the former Deputy Governor of Jigawa State, Ibrahim Hassan Adija, as the Deputy Chief of Staff. Also, the President also named George Akume. George Akume is the former Governor of Benue State and the immediate past Minister of the Special Duties as the Secretary to the Government of the Federation. That is a very important role because he has a lot of subordinates. It's just similar to, Anthony Blinken position. For those that might not understand, what does that mean, in a layman. So Tinubu has only appointed those those three individuals for now. No changes to the security chiefs yet, but we are monitoring to see what and how Tinubu will change and how those changes will bring a little bit of sanity and, security-wise to so many Nigerians back home.
Well, we hope to see who he appoints to be his security chief and what they can bring onto the table as well. But Star Radio UK, now subsidy. Let's go to the fuel subsidy. Now, they've taken this fuel subsidy. I'm looking at let me put it this way, those who are well-to-do, let me use, for lack of words, use that. Now, those who are well-to-do in Nigeria, let's say they are 10%, or let's call it 20%. They are the majority of people who are struggling. So this fuel subsidy goes a long way to help them. Now you look at people who are living in various states where the whole of their salary amounts to what? Maybe 30,000, is it a month or whatever it is. Now if they take fuel or transport costs because of the rise, because the subsidy has been taken away, what is going to be left in their hands? Tell me.
Well, I listened to Tinubu, and he's already, trying to see if they can make, a minimum wage increment. That is going to be strain on as many states. Some states might be able to pay, such increments, whether it's Lagos State or Rivers State, because, we know, their capacity. But when you talk about Jigawa State, that, because you cannot put increments in one state and say no to the others as well. Yeah. It has to go simultaneously. Already, even the 30,000 naira is not being paid, as we speak right now. So as many states cannot afford it, they are still owing as many salaries as well. The question is because Nigeria do not have, the money as we speak right now. We are owing too much out there you're quite right, if there's going to be a removal, because Tinubu says that he's not ready to be paying, subsidy for Benin Republic, Niger, Ghana, that we've known that some of these, petroleums have been traveling through the roads and in conjunction of so many of the cabals. But it is the average Nigerian that is facing the burden as we speak right now. And what happened again is because Nigerians have not even waited till the end of June. So from last week, the petrol price has gone up, even though those that are increasing the petrol price I bought it from the old price. So the question is, why not wait till the end of June to make the price reflect? But as we do know, Nigerians take advantage of everything. So since last week, Monday, the cost of living have shot up, and there'll be more Nigerians that will go into the abject poverty. Even some of the, the celebrity, somebody like Tiwa Savage, was speaking, last week, and she says that, she can't wait to return back to, I don't know where she was coming from, whether US or UK, because she was already complaining that some of her vehicles are trying to get petrol. One of the cars that she's driving, the tires has gone flat. She's gone back home. There's no electricity. And you can imagine this kind of people wants to live a better life. Even they have the money, the better life is not there. But the average Nigerian doesn't have the money, and they're not guaranteed the better life as well. So Tinubu government, as we speak right now, seems to be what I was listening to the governor of Lagos State pleading with the NLC, not to go into any strike as we speak right now. But NLC, the Nigerian Labour, Congress, the Nigerian Labour Congress, yes, have shown the federal government they are now meeting with the electricity workers. Electricity workers are also backing the strike. And as we speak right now, NLC fourth negotiation team in Lagos, Nasarawa, Mo State chapter joined the strike, because they were actually saying that this could be the agenda of Peter Obi trying to push, Tinubu government and bring it down, by putting out a strike. But it seems that it's not been something that is going to be. The TUC also demands salary increase. Fuel importers seek equal access to Forex. Nigerians do not have access to Forex. If I want to travel out of Nigeria, even though what the government says is, as long as I have the ticket, I have the visa, I can walk into any of my bank and ask for Forex up to $3,000. But the bank says, we don't have it. Why not go to the black market and get it from there? And that literally means that the Nigerian Labour Congress yesterday have now shown a meeting called by the federal government to discuss the subsidy removal, attendant hike in the fuel pump price across the country. The union insisted that it will not hold any more dialogue with the government representatives unless a legitimate team was set up. So what that literally means that Nigeria should prepare for the long roll ahead, because when the strike goes ahead, there will be more shutdown, airport will be affected, every part of Nigeria will be affected, even the diaspora will be affected as well.
Well, we hope that Tinubu knows exactly what he's up to, because he spoke. Sonolu has said that the NLC strike will solve anything. Wrong time to protect subsidy removal. So you're telling them that it's wrong time. They want to have the maximum impact. So if they think that that is the time for them to strike, to bring the country to its knees, for you to hack into them, that's what they're going to do. But do you think they're going to back off? Because we've seen some of, especially the University Lecturers Union, I've forgotten their name, that
ASU.
ASU, who went on strike. Buhari for more than a year plus, they were on strike. Are we going to see something of the sort to bring the government to its knees for it to now do what their bidding is?
I think it was somewhere around 2002, not too sure, when there was a very heavy strike, and that affected my mom because she was in Nigeria as at the period of time, when that strike went ahead. And, we don't know how long it's going to last, when they say strike, they could pull it out. But since Tinubu is still saying that, we're sorry, I know it's a painful thing. He also says that he's not the only one that mentioned subsidy removal. The other government says it, even though Atiku party is saying that they will have brought in a cushion before removing the subsidy. But we asked him, where is the $800 million that the former President Muhammadu Buhari got before he left? Because the actual reason for that was to disburse that money, whether it's going to last for a month or so, while the government is finding, a fine tune. But you're right, the governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has appealed to the Nigerian Labour Congress to share of his planned nationwide strike to protest the fuel subsidy removal. asserting that the strike will not resolve anything and the strike is a ill time. He also mentioned that Tinubu has not even spent a week already. It won't address the issue. The point should be how to ensure a sustained turnaround in our economy. And I hope he can start by reducing the amount of vehicle he travel with as a Lagos State governor.
The convoy, right?
Yes.
Bishop Adesina, good morning. He said, well, I've been very busy. Bishop, we know that you are very busy. You do diligent. You do good work. So, yes. And he says, kudos to us and kudos to you, Bishop. And thank you very, very much for your support. And every one of you have tuned in this morning to listen to us. It is Star Radio UK. Let's go to Yomi for the rest of the story that is making the rounds. Over to you, Yomi.
At least 80 killed in a violent attack nationwide in Tinubu's first week in office is the headline. Not a very good one. The kidnap of an Anambra Catholic Reverend Father has now regained back his freedom. We pray that as many people that are still being held, in any incapacity, will get their freedom, especially Daddy Yati, that has been missing for the last 3 years. Osun State Governor Adeleke has now dissolved the 7th State Assembly. Is the new governor? But like I always say, some of the governors either abuse offices or not. I was looking at the Ondo State governor. We pray for him to get better. But it seems that what I've been told that he has not left the state to the deputy. But information coming to me also said that the deputy is also somebody that is not to be trustworthy. So it seems that Nigerian politicians are very, very skeptical, because I was saying that the governor should let the deputy take over. But those indigenous that understand the grassroots politics said to me, do not advocate for that. The deputy himself, this is an allegation, is not trustworthy. And that is why the governor of Ondo State, Rotimi Akeredolu, that we have told from information that he has been flew to Germany for further treatment, because Ondo State do not have what it takes to look after their state governor. So the German hospital is the best for him, while the local hospital that is not well equipped is for the masses. What a very good time to be alive. Government order investigation into Taye Solarin University student is another headline as well. Make poor Abian happy. Let the rich be annoyed. Obi advised Oti. As many obedient are still hoping that there will be a final decision from the court. When that is going to happen, we don't know. But the ex-governor Peter Obi has advised the governor Alex Oti to do his best to cater for the need of the people, of the poor people in Abia, in his budgeting and planning, and urging him to let the rich be annoyed. I don't think the rich want to be annoyed, but it seems that Bola Tinubu is already making some rich people to be annoyed. It seems that Enugu governor that thought he can stop the Biafra by sitting down at home and telling Biafrans and the people in the southeast that Enugu will run on a Monday, but I can confirm that the governor will probably be in his house as well, because he will be doing sit at home. Because Enugu residents have shown the governor Umba directive on the ban on the sit at home. Again, economic and other activities are all grounded. Umba, as at Saturday, threatening to close down schools and market and motor park and businesses. If he's going to do that, that means there will be more sit at home.
Yeah,
so
2 days.
Just sit at home himself on a Monday and do more paperwork and then resume office on Tuesday, because in Enugu State and other Biafra State, they are not going out, because they are still requesting that Bola Tinubu, the new government, should look into the case of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. So the resident of Enugu City, the Enugu State capital, the southeast Nigeria, and its environment, with the pictures that I can see here and videos that I've seen as well, at Simon Ekpa, have decided to sit at home despite the state government ban on illegal sit at home. So it seems that the Biafra and the Enugu State governor will have to square things out. Because of the time constraint, we're going to go straight to the social media.
That's a quick one before you go. Because last week, Friday, when you were not in, some of the editions that were sent for us to look at was the fact that they were calling for the youth in the southeast were going to protest in Abuja. They said a date. They said I don't know whether in support of the president, and also calling for the insecurity that is going on there, and calling for the release of Nnamdi Kanu. Have you heard anything about that?
Well, maybe that is still being planned. I don't know, because we know that the next case, court case for Nnamdi Kanu, I believe from what the last is going to be in September. But we know that there's still a lot of appeal especially even the Enugu State Governor appealed to Tinubu, to look into the case of Nnamdi Kanu. But like I said, Tinubu have just settled down under a week, and it seems that the week is already becoming like almost a year, because it's dealing already with the subsidy, this insecurity. Like we said earlier, 81 Nigerians have died across the country, in under a week that Tinubu has been in office. And likewise, there's still more pressure, in terms of economic situation in Nigeria. So yes, definitely, there's a lot of, pressure, across, outside. The Biafrans, the wife of Nnamdi Kanu was celebrating the Biafra Remembrance Day, here in London, I believe in Scotland, on the 30th when they were doing their Remembrance Day. So there's a lot of, pressure still out there. But as we speak right now, Tinubu has a lot on his plate that is trying to work out every day he goes into the office. Okay. Before you continue, Bishop Adesina says, what a confused Nigeria. Report a fuel marketer saying for the past 8 years, Nigeria NNPC pay no subsidy to anybody. Where did they see the subsidies they removed? Or where did they see the subsidies they removed? It remains a question. And then it goes on, I conclude that the subsidies clause in Nigeria government is just a trick of increasing fuel price unnecessarily. Because if you have not been paying subsidies for more than 8 years, where do you say that you remove the subsidies? Over to you, Yomi, for the rest of the stories. Well, there's a breaking news coming right now in Jos, as residents have decided to clash with the military personnel at a checkpoint, which resulted in a gunshot and burning of a military vehicle. This is just happening as we speak right now, coming all the way from Jos. It's a breaking news, and we hope situation, will be dealt with right there as well. So let's go straight, to, again, it's not just one media that is picking it. I've just picked it up from another media, which we don't have to name. Is one of the mainstream media says, Enugu resident defy the governor directive, continue observing sit at home. So it seems that the Biafrans are very, very determined. They know what they want, since they cannot do anything, without, checking mate with the new government and also the governor. So like I said, the governor must as well take a day off every Monday until the situation between, the federal government and the Biafra will be dealt with as well. So quite a lot. Hashtag revolution is trending. Oshiomhole is trending. That seems to be El Rufai is trending, and 25% is trending. So we're just going to go straight because of the time constraint already. Let's look at why Nigeria is trending on the social media. We know that Tinubu says he's going to, try to avoid social media, but he doesn't have to be there. All he needs to do is, his team will be monitoring whatever we are saying on the social media. But Tinubu himself do not like social media. So let's go straight to what Simon Ekpa, the Prime Minister of the Biafra government in exile says. According to Biafra update, while the Biafran Liberation Army and the Eastern Security Network are protecting the Biafra land, battling the terrorists, the Nigerian army, this is what is happening in the north down Nigeria. No security protecting the Christian. And he actually cropped, the image and the headline, over 35 killed, many injured as terrorists attack Sokoto community that we talked about earlier as well. He also went on to say, great Biafrans all over the world, our determination to exit Nigeria this year is unquestionable. No mortar can overturn this mandate. The terrorist Nigerian government imposed illegitimate stooge, parading himself as the governor of our beloved Enugu State, has been, it seems that, is then referencing back to has been completely disgraced. The Biafran people has once again demonstrated their will and readiness to exit Nigeria, and that no amount of threat shall penetrate an inch. The Biafra Republic government in exile would like to extend a very big thanks to all the Biafrans for this collective effort and demonstration of our readiness to exit Nigeria. We must continue with our efforts. So it seems that Enugu State Governor, over the weekend was the Yoruba New Year as well, just as we have it, with the Chinese New Year, which is I think January mostly. But because we are Nigerians presently, we do not tend to celebrate, the Yoruba New Year. As we speak right now as well, there's what they call the Ifa festival that is going on. I've been monitoring and following that as well. And this headline says under the Yorubaness, at Yorubaness, the Aku in Gambia at their annual Egungun Festival. They are Yoruba who settled in Gambia for over 200 years. Also, 17 hours ago, Think Yoruba First, a Yoruba British rapper, Sakata, the man turned down MBE, member of the Order of the British Empire, honor, but accepted a chieftaincy of Amuludun of Odo Aje in Ondo State. Wow, it seems that somebody refused to take MBE, but went back, to take what they called our own chieftaincy. That is quite an interesting one. So we're going to take one more and then we go straight. Ifa Funsho said the only region feeding everyone in this Nigeria is Yoruba land. Major companies in Nigeria and in Yoruba land. Best university are Yoruba land. Seaport is in Yoruba land. Entertainment is in Yoruba land. And like I said, I think Burna Boy was able to sell off almost 80,000 seats in London. That has never happened before. And we say congratulations to him. So on that note, also, we would then say thank you so much to those of us that have joined us on the Star Radio UK network this morning. As we continue to monitor the breaking news and the news from Nigeria, stay tuned to the Star Radio UK. And Robert Spencer went on to say, Nigeria murdered 43 Christians, including a pastor and his wife, in a jihad attack on the Christian. And again, some of the bad roads that some of our trucks are driving through. What a shame that things have not changed, for a very long time, and this could be a disaster. So critics now say this is a road in Nigeria with the government looting billions of naira. So that is about the Star Radio UK, the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London.
Yes, listeners, Mr. Olami Koiki. But before we go, another breaking news from Nigeria. Over 100 thugs have invaded a tribunal, attacked journalists and politicians and others. And that is happening in a court where, let me get the name of the place, Ogun State Governorship Tribunal sitting. That's in
southwest of Nigeria.
Yeah, a sad one there. So I will be following it, but God willing, tomorrow, God willing, we'll bring you details of that. Hear me before you go.
Stay tuned, as we take you through some of the other part of the world, Star Radio UK continue to bring you all the news headline. I'll be back again tomorrow. Have a very great afternoon and bye for now.
Bye-bye. Well, listen, that has been Mr. Olayomi Koiki bringing you the updates from Nigeria, from our North London studios. It is now gone, 11 minutes to the top of the hour. Let's take a music break, and then we continue with the show. We're going to be bringing you more from other parts of the world. We're looking at other countries in Africa and other parts of the world until 12:30 when I take you to Cyprus, where HRH Linda Palian is going to be. So enjoy this tune. I'll be with you in a moment. The Zongo man says, the problem of Africa.
To Yoruba nation, but they are.
Ẹ má bínú gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, à ń tẹ̀síwájú ní orúkọ Olúwa. Ọ̀tá kan ń gbìyànjú ni, ṣùgbọ́n àwa ni àti borí, àwa lolúborí, àti jáwé olúborí o. Ẹ ṣé. So bàbá wa, ibi tá a bá ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn dé, òun ni ẹ ti gbọ́ yẹn. Bàbá ẹ wá bá wa yànnà náà because kìíní já.
Nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó sì ń jà wá lógun ó mà ní dàásùrà òun ló mú pọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó yẹ kó dìde kán sọ̀pọ̀tì ìrìn àjò yìí tó ní kálukú wọn fi rówó àfi tí generation of generation kan pọ̀ tí lẹ́nu mẹ́ta mọ́ ẹ ṣe ọmọ God bless you. Ìjà Yorùbá ìjà tá à ń jà fún Yorùbá ìjà tí Ọlọ́run fún ara ẹ̀ fọwọ́ sí. Ìjà wọn ní ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ tó ti fẹ́ kí irú mi kí n sọ pé mi ò ṣe mọ́ irú ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ sí mi wọ́n fẹ́ kí n sọ pé ó sú mi kí ló pé mi ò ṣe mọ́. Wọ́n rẹ́ni tó jókòó lára àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tó lọ ń ṣoṣo oògùn tó ń pò gbèdè wípé kí Professor Akintoye kékeré kan ṣé kó má lè jà ìgbà ìgbà. Wọ́n wà. Ṣùgbọ́n Ọlọ́run ló ní kí n lọ́dún. Àwọn tó ń ṣá oògùn wọn lè rí jù because God has built a defense around me. God has given His angels charge over me to watch me in all my ways. The angels are always bearing me up in their hands, and therefore I shall never do as much as dash my foot against a stone. Kò sọ́gbọ́n wọn tán lè dà kò ṣeé ṣe. So ìyẹn wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Kí ni ìdí tí wọ́n ṣe rí àwọn Yorùbá tó ṣe gbúgbú bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn? Ìdí ẹ̀ ni wípé èkíní àwọn tí à ń bá jà. Ìṣojú ìjà àwọn ò bá wa ja ìjà ojú lásán o. Àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá gbọ́dọ̀ mọ eléyìí. Àwọn Fúlàní tó ń bá wa jà wọn bá wa ja ìjà ojú lásán. They are fighting us with spiritual warfare. Big time. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ fẹ́ mọ̀ nípa yẹn ó easy láti find out. The Fulani are always using àwọn kan group of people. Wọ́n rò pé spiritual power wà lọ́wọ́ wọn kan pẹ̀lú Marabu from Senegal. So àwọn náà máa kó wá sí Nàìjíríà. Àwọn fúnra wọn ò they are not good Muslims. Àwọn Fulani fúnra wọn they are not good Muslims. But those people are supposed to have a lot of power. And láti ijọ́ tí wọ́n ti dá Nàìjíríà sílẹ̀ ní independent àwọn Fulani ti depend heavily upon the Marabu. Pé ká máa sáwọn yòókù. Tọ́ba kẹ̀sì lóko sí wọn kí wọ́n má bí wọn débi pé wọ́n máa jà padà àbí kí wọ́n máa lọ ráyọ̀ wọ́n máa ṣe kíni. So gbogbo ẹ̀ dákẹ́ lọ́rọ̀ káwọn máa ṣe lóko yẹn sí wọn káwọn máa lè dáhùn káwọn máa lè resist káwọn máa lè reject them. Ìyẹn lọ. I can give you the ní 2019 àwa kan tapera wa ní Southern and Middle Leaders Forum. Àwa tá wá láti South West, àwọn tó wá láti South South, àwọn tó wá láti South East, àtàwọn tó wá láti Middle Belt. 4 different groups. Our food organization coming Southern and Middle Belt Leaders Forum. Over the job on 2019, and okay, our federal visit the national federal visit Senate. Kábèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn rí gbogbo nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà yìí ni why are they not doing anything about it and so on and so forth. Chief E.K. Clark ní chairman wa àwọn bàbá wa yọ Adébánjọ wà lára wa èmi wà bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n wá yan èèyàn mẹ́rin from this area mẹ́rin la ṣe south west middle belt wọ́n wá ní kí kọ̀ọ̀kan yan mẹ́rin ní south west èèyàn mẹ́rin tá a yàn ó ìlú Chief Adébánjọ number 1 èmi number 2 young men like Mimiko and Yinka Odumakin àwọn tí àlọ́ láti ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni àwọn yòókù mẹ́rin tí wọ́n sí ọ̀fọ̀ àdébẹ̀. Nígbà tá a jókòó pẹ̀lú àwọn senators, the president of Senate jókòó, the chairman of 8 major committees of Senate wọ́n jókòó pẹ̀lú president of Senate on the high school. Àwọn tá a jẹ́ àlejò wọn àjókòó báyìí. Nígbà tá a kiri àwọn tán tá a ṣe tán so president of Senate Bisola kan ṣe ó ní bàbá ẹ sọ fún gbogbo àwọn tó àtẹ̀yìn sí yìí. Story provide attendance and his personal assistance. Ó ní ẹ sọ fún gbogbo àwọn attendant ẹni mẹ́rin yẹn nìkan kù. Sọ fún gbogbo àwọn attendant wa àwọn assistant wa jáde. Ó ní kí gbogbo àwọn tó jẹ́ workers for the Senate workers kan jáde. Okay, àwọn èèyàn tó jáde. Ó ní gbogbo àwọn tó bá jẹ́ police àbí security kìnìkan tó bá wà ní ká jáde. So àwọn èèyàn tó jáde. Ó wá fún àwọn mẹ́rin yẹn àti senator mẹ́jọ àti president of Senate 25 of them. Ó ní nǹkan táwọn fẹ́ sọ fún wa ní bàbá. There is something happening that Nigeria does not pay attention to.
Fire the mountain.
Yes. Kì í ṣe ordinary people, kì í ṣe people tá à ń rí àwọn Fúlàní tá à ń rí àgbàlù, kì í ṣe àwọn ló take the decision for Nigeria ní Abuja yìí. Àwọn kan wà tó jẹ́ Marago. Tá lọ import wá láti Senegal.
Ṣé ìgbọ́ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ká lè mọ ibi tá a máa dojú àdúrà àti gbogbo ẹbọ tá à ń rú ká mọ ibi tá a máa dojú ẹbọ? Ẹ ṣe bàbá wa gbọ́.
Àwọn kan wọ́n máa lọ kó wọn wá ní in their hundreds. Tọ́ba dẹ̀ ń lọ wọ́n máa kó púpọ̀ fún wọn ní it's like aeroplane kan fi lọ kó wọn Nàìjíríà ló máa gbé aeroplane ránṣẹ́ láti lọ kó wọn wá àwọn náà tún máa kó wọn lọ ẹgbà tán bá ń lọ gbé aeroplane wọn yẹn filled with naira ní àti dollars. Those are the people who are doing it. Only tá àwa Senate, the Senate of Nigeria, tá a bá Buhari ṣèpàdé báyìí nírọ̀lẹ́ yìí, tá a sọ pé Buhari nǹkan báyìí lájọ máa ṣe tó wà kiri gbogbo àgbẹ̀dá kúrò lọ. Táwọn Maragotu ẹ bá sọ fún lóru pé má ṣe kéde yẹn o, ìgbà tá a bá wá ba ẹ̀ṣọ́ láàárọ̀ jẹ́ kí wọ́n máa wà wípé òun kò tí ì tọ̀rẹ́ ni. Òun ò gbọ́ kéde yẹn rí.
Olúwa
ọ̀yẹ́ ó ní so ó ní àwọn fúnra ó ní àwọn tá a wà bí àwọn tá a jẹ́ senators we live in fear of our lives. Only the other senators will tell you, kò sí kankan lára wa tó wà bí tán ti fi Marago threat. Ìkànnì òdèdè jí láàárọ̀ lórí àwọn Marago tó wà wájú tó táwọn ọlọ́pàá wà lọ́dọ̀ ẹ̀. Marago yẹn ń sọ fún àwọn ọlọ́pàá pé ilé sẹ́nítọ̀ yẹn owó ìjọba tó ń jí ó kún bẹ̀ ẹ lọ ṣáàjẹ́ ẹ rí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ mi sọ fún pé owó ìjọba wà bẹ́ẹ̀. Yes.
Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá náà wò ní bàbá wa wá ta wọ́n ṣí àìtó.
Ó ní sọ àwọn Fúlàní àwọn ọlọ́pàá dẹ̀ wá lóòótọ́ wọn dẹ̀ wọnú ilé wọn bẹ̀ sí ṣáàjì yàrá wọn ṣáàjì kíchìn wọn ṣáàjì. Ìkan lára àwọn senators wọn ní ìyàwó ẹ̀yà àwọn ìyá tó bí owó wà ní ọ̀dọ́ níjọ́ yẹn tó sì tó wà ní yàrá kan. Òun sọ pé ìyá wa bẹ wọn jẹ káàrí ìyá wọn sílẹ̀ gbígbẹ̀ wọn dédé wọn wo wá bẹ́ẹ̀ ní pé màmá wà wọn wá bẹ́ẹ̀ wọn ṣe gbogbo. Yes, that's how Nigeria is being governed. Anybody tó bá rò pé àwọn Fúlàní ìrọ everything they do is guided by the Marago. Everything they do towards Nigeria is guided.
Mo kí gbogbo wa pé ẹ káàbọ̀ padà sórí transmission Koiki Media, and I say thank you so much. And as we've known already, that Nigeria is under the darkness of evil force. What Baba Akintoye is explaining there is the marabouts of the Fulani that is not just being used against the Yorubas, is also being used by the non-Yorubas so that everybody is locked into not understanding. So when people are saying, hey, we don't understand what you guys are saying, you want Yoruba nation, what does it mean? It don't mean they do not want us to succeed in Nigeria. So they are literally holding us back. Welcome us back into the conversation. It's just coming up to 12 p.m. local time in London. My name is Olamide Koiki. We are in danger. And if we do not get out of that danger, the more Tabapesi, the more that our lives will all be lost. Good afternoon to everyone that have joined us. Thank you so much to each and every one of you. We appreciate you. We have just left the transmission of the Star Radio UK, and we are now back into the conversation as we continue to look into the letter and digest it regarding our right to self-determination. And as we have now decided to write Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we will then start the conversation this afternoon. First and foremost, are we one people? Is Nigeria a one country or multiple nations? These are so many I will be discussing in the live transmission today as well. Bear with me, but first and foremost, listen to this.
thinking about how we've been having this conversation about the unity of Nigeria. And I reflect back at some of the prominent statements made by some of our founding leaders. And I feel that probably this will help us to have a conversation on the Nigerian unity. I just brought four, not to bore you. First, and I quote, not my statement, Nigeria is not a nation. It's a mere geographical expression. There are no Nigerians in the same sense as there are English, Welsh, or French. The word Nigerian is merely a distinctive appellation to distinguish those who live within the boundaries of Nigeria from those who do not. This is accredited to Chief Obafemi Awolowo, the former Prime Minister of the Western region. The second one, and I quote, it is true that we politicians always delight in talking loosely about the unity of Nigeria. 60 years ago, there was no country called Nigeria. What is now Nigeria consisted of several large and small communities, all of which were different in their outlooks and beliefs. The advent of the British and that of Western education has not materially altered the situation, and the many and varied communities have not knit themselves into a composite unit. This is accredited to Sir Ahmadu Bello, former Premier of Northern Region. The third, and I quote, since 1914, the British government has been trying to make Nigeria into one country. But the Nigerian people themselves are historically different in their backgrounds, in their religious beliefs and customs, and do not show themselves any sign of willingness to unite. The Nigerian unity is only a British intention for the country.
Impediment to Yoruba development. It's the impediment to Odua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.
Every one of us must rise up. The armed forces are not neutral. They collude. They collude. They collude with the armed bandits. They kill people, kill Nigerians. They facilitate their movements. They cover them. If you are depending on the armed forces to stop the killings, you will all die one by one.
If you don't allow we Biafrans to go, that zoological republic called Nigeria will be a worse place than Somalia. And today it is happening. And if you have not applied for your Somalian visa, please try and do so. Should I say Somali visa? Try and do so as quickly as possible, because the zoo is on the path of destruction. And there is nothing man can do to reverse it. Mark today's date and what I'm telling you. Nigeria will be destroyed beyond human comprehension.
And a very good afternoon and welcome to the live transmission. My name is Ola Yomi Koiki, as a lot of you call us Koiki Media. It is the Monday, it is the first day of the week, as we continue to highlight and educate as many so-called Nigerians that are still hoping that Nigeria will be rectified and Nigeria will be a great country. Nigeria is going to work for every one of us. That is a lie that everybody has been saying for 63 years. 63 years down the line, Nigerians are still not having access to the basic things of life, your freedom has been removed. So some of you will never enjoy any freedom in Nigeria. As much as the Yoruba that are so excited about Bola Ahmed Tinubu being the 16th president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, that does not mean that the Yoruba people will not negotiate with him. It is our right to negotiate with him, whether some of you disagree with that views or not. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, as you are all settling in for the afternoon conversation. So let's go straight by listening to these, and we come back and we continue with the conversation. It's going to be very loud, this one. I'm talking about the music that is coming behind.
Again. No going back. Ìgbòho òòṣà, iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ ń tẹ̀síwájú. Mr. Koiki ẹ ṣé o, àwọn ọmọ mi ló ń kí yín o. Àwọn ọmọ mi ló ń kí yín o. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, a máa délẹ̀ lérí o lórúkọ Jésù. Yorùbá nation. Again. No going back. Ìgbòho òòṣà, iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ ń tẹ̀síwájú. Mr. Koiki ẹ ṣé o, àwọn ọmọ mi ló ń kí yín o. Àwọn ọmọ mi ló ń kí yín o. Lágbára Ọlọ́run, a máa délẹ̀ lérí o lórúkọ Jésù. Yorùbá nation.
Ọmọ Ìbàràpá lápapọ̀ ẹ̀jẹ̀ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹbí ọmọ Yorùbá lápapọ̀ tilé tó kọ́ ẹ̀mí àbọ̀ ẹ̀bá nǹkan ọmọ Adéyẹmọ. Sunday Adéníyì Ìgbòho, orúkọ ńlá tí ń jámọ̀ láyà bí àrá, orúkọ tó ń dẹrù bo lórúkọ gan-an. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ má sùn o, torí pé bùrà a kò lè fojú kégbodò láyé. Títa ríro lẹ̀dá ń kọlà, wúrà tó máa dán alànà kọjá dandan o. Ọ̀wọ́n irin ní má bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọ̀nà, ẹ̀dá kan ò lè ṣì wá lọ́nà mọ́. Ẹjẹ́ àfìmọ̀ṣọ̀ kan ká lè débi re. Ẹjẹ́ àjọ gbárùkù ti Sunday Ìgbòho ṣá. Ọmọ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ nílùú Alágbàdo Òde. Ọmọ atapẹ̀tẹ̀ wọnú omi, ọmọ gègèlè wodò sànyà. Ìsànyà ò rẹ́ràn bàbá yín láàrin ìdí, omi kò sì náà ń kán sí yín lẹ́nu. Ọmọ òkúta mẹ́ta òkè Ìgbòho, ìkan ṣe yín ní dábọ̀dàbọ̀, ìkan ní mọ́ rọra, ìkan tó kù nígbà tí wọ́n ò mọ̀ Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́, kí ló dé Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́ sí ọmọ òpópó sanran, ìgbàgede Ìgbòho sùn wọn láláìsí bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọn ní.
Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ó ń ṣàlàyé àárín orin fún mi lánàá, mo fẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ ká gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn, ó dà pé mi kàn máa ń gbọ́ kò yé mi dáadáa. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè, mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá, mo fẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ ká gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Ó ní abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta, abẹ́rẹ́ needle. There's different needles that they use around the world in the past, but abẹ́rẹ́ kan péré ló sì ń lò around the whole world. Ẹ wá jẹ́ ká gbọ́n tí ẹni tó kọ bẹ̀ yẹn, ẹ jẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ ká jọ gbọ́ bẹ̀ yẹn. Màá mute ara mi, ó ga jù gẹ́gẹ́gẹ́gẹ́. àbọ̀rọ̀ mòye yín nísìn ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta àgbáyé but ẹyọ kan péré òun ni wọ́n ń lò ní gbogbo àgbáyé ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn màá mute mic.
ọmọ òpópó sanran ìgbàgede Ìgbòho sùn wọn láláìsí bẹ̀rẹ̀ wọn ní.
láláìsí gbẹ́rẹ́.
kó ní bẹ̀rẹ̀ ó máa kó bẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ ẹ̀sìn òní bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho mọ̀rẹ́.
ó ní ẹṣin òní bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho ọ̀rẹ́ mú bọ̀.
bẹ́sìn bá bímọ méjì ní Ìgbòho áfíríkàn pọ̀pọ̀ sí.
ó ní bẹ́sìn bá bímọ méjì ibẹ̀ ń gbọ́ngàn ọmọ fẹ́ lò mú bọ̀.
amúkan yòókù bọ̀ sànyà àtúntúyà rẹ̀ tí ò lọ́rọ̀ ọgbọ́n á fi fẹ́nu wálé wàràwàdì ọmọ onílé ọ̀la àwọn àjòjì tó ń ṣe ségesège tọ́láwọn ò ní bomi kó sí mu wọ́n láwọn ò ní bomi.
ẹ̀yin àjòjì tẹ́ ẹ̀ fi gbọ́ ẹ̀yin lẹ máa kúrò ńlé fún Ìgbòho àti lé Buhari lọ àìmọye àwọn tó ti kú kọ́lọ́ọ̀jọ́ lọ́ máa yanjú ẹ̀ gbogbo ẹni tó bá ti ń ro ikú lọ bá Ìgbòho àti bàbá Akíntóyè ẹgbọ́n tí bàbá sọ níbẹ̀ yẹn. That is the video I want us to discuss today. There is a lot of attack, spiritual attack on Igboho, Baba Akintoye, and the rest of every single one of us because we are waking the minds of Yoruba people. Some of them are so adamant. Kò sí nǹkan tẹ́ bá fẹ́ sọ they are not going to listen because Marabot ń ṣiṣẹ́ lára yín. But mo ń bọ̀ ẹni sùúrù.
mi sànyàwó ẹsẹ̀ ojú kò fi rí nǹkan gbogbo wọn náà sáré bomi kó sí mu wọ́n sì bomi sànyàwó ẹsẹ̀ ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé.
abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé mo fẹ́ kẹ́ lo bẹ̀rẹ̀ dáadáa abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta there is 3 needles. So all these attack on Baba Akintoye is because they know that Baba Akintoye has woken the minds of the Yoruba people. Bàbá yẹn náà lọ ṣe interview fún èèyàn kan ọjọ́ 4 lòun lò níbẹ̀. Wọ́n ní káwa Yorùbá bá ti ń sùn. You know, we are sleeping, deep sleep. Ẹlòmíì á máa hanrun. But some of us will then say, we are not meant to be here. Ibi táwa ẹ̀kọ́ ló yẹ ká wà ẹ dìde. Àwọn kan máa ta wá jí lómi jí. So, you know, Baba Akintoye and Igboho and the rest of every single Yoruba that are calling the attention of people to say, let us go back to ibi táwa tẹ́lẹ̀. Àwọn kan ní no, we prefer Nigeria. But they don't understand what is inside Nigeria. Because whatever is inside Nigeria is not meant for us. It is actually holding us back. It is deceiving us. It is putting us in the line of not understanding our true self. Mumbo. Ìkànṣẹ́.
ọkọ tó kù ní gbogbo ayé ṣe ń ṣọ́kì
ẹni sùn. Ó yá.
ọmọ abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde.
Abẹ́rẹ́ mẹ́ta òde ayé. They are looking for every means to destroy Baba Akintoye. Kódà wọ́n tún lọ gbé àkáǹtì kan jáde, wọ́n ní Baba Akintoye ló ní. They are just looking for something so that they can destroy their reputation. And tó bá yẹ ti destroy reputation wọn, then what else? Because if you destroy somebody's reputation, then what else? Ó lè ní ìní kan ní ṣèbónóhùn tẹ̀ lóògùn. Àwọn kan tún sọ pé tó bá bìdá kó máa bọ̀ ní Ìbàdàn kábíyèsí Elédùmarè wọ́n ti lé auxiliary kúrò ní Ìbàdàn nísìnyí. Ẹ bá ń dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run Elédùmarè. Auxiliary wọ́n bìdá nísìnyí bí ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí kó lọ Ìbàdàn tọ́lọ́kọ̀ nígbè. That shows that whoever thinks that Igboho will be destroyed, Igboho ní bá yín nílé. Do you know that auxiliary tó rò pé òun lòun ní Ìbàdàn nígbà tí Igboho ti kúrò ní Ìbàdàn ẹni tó lè dùn tí Igboho bá ń kọjá? As we speak today, òun fúnra rẹ̀ gan lè gbé nìbàdàn. The same auxiliary gave the go-ahead to the killing of Kokoro. Maybe some of you ti gbàgbé. Ẹlòmíì ọ̀ràn tẹ́ ẹ mẹ́ta. Do you know how many children were killed? Wọ́n ní wọ́n pa ọmọ 5 kan nínú gáràjì wọn tí auxiliary mọ̀ nípa ẹ̀. Do you know how many people have been wasted because these individuals' life means nothing to some of you? But today, some of them will never ẹ ti gbàgbé auxiliary, ẹ ti gbàgbé Kokoro. That is Kokoro. Justice for Kokoro. Do you know that they buried him without orí níbẹ̀? The video they play video yẹn but ó wà lórí Koiki Media website. The video tí nígbàtọ́rí bọ́dì kòkòrò wọ́n gbá orí níbẹ̀, orí yẹn ti lọ. Auxiliary and Seyi Makinde are involved. But trailer ti gbà rìn wọn kọjá. And today, all right, and today, but today, as we speak right now, ẹ rò pé for every Yoruba people that you killed, you will all go scot-free. You will not. You will never go scot-free. Because you have damaged the lives of so many Yoruba people. Let's play this again. But there's still one that is standing and it will stand forever. That is Igboho Oòṣà and Baba Akintoye. Interview tí Baba ṣe yẹn was very, very powerful. And that is what I'm going to be discussing throughout the program today. Ìkàntẹ̀ òun lábẹ́rẹ́, but ọ̀kan tó kù, there is still one single needle. Ní gbogbo needle tó ń lò ní gbogbo àgbáyé, there is one that stand. They tried everything, Kódà wọ́n fi allegation upon oríṣiríṣi just to destroy these two individuals. Kàtẹ́ sọ pé àwọn kíá. And these two individuals that have sacrificed their lives so that we can have a better opportunity as Yoruba people. Àkàndá ènìyàn làwọn méjèèjì yẹn. And they thought that some of us will back out by not giving them their support. Mo sọ fún yín pé loyalty náà ọ̀dọ̀ wọn ló wà. Bàbá pásítọ̀ kan torí ẹ̀ ti gbálẹ̀ tó wà ní Leeds, one bastard. Ó ní èmi wà self-centered. Bí mo ṣe máa gbé loyalty mi, olórí burúkú ààrẹ ò kúrò ní Leeds as a pastor kó lọ sílé kó tẹ̀ lọ bá wa ṣàdúrà fún Bàbá Akíntóyè, one bastard. Ó jókòó sí Leeds. Wọ́n pọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ o, àwọn olórí burúkú somebody. Àní èpèlè ni a máa fún yín. Let's listen again. Ẹyọ kan péré ni wọ́n sì fi ránṣọ káàkiri. You will all try to bring them down, but it's not going to happen. Because àwọn tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè ti mí sí lára ni. They are using everything they want to do to destroy Igboho and Baba Akintoye. But the two of them kept their hands like this. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn tó shield wọn. Because if we did not shield them, apart from pé Olódùmarè to shield wọn, they would have knocked them off. Especially all these bastard àwọn ọmọ kéékèèké tó dá kọ̀ọ̀kan mọ̀. Mo sọ fún yín pé 1 million Fúlàní ò lè dá Ìgbòho nìkan dúró. 1 million ò lè dá dúró bó ṣe wà yẹn. Mo kí gbogbo yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
Lásán ni kàńdá òkúra òṣèlú fún wọn o. Ìmọ̀ràn lásán ni ti balùwẹ̀ kò pọ́sibú kó dòdò láyé ń bí. Ó kún díẹ̀ títọ́ domi láéláyé ìtọ́ mi lè domi. Sunday Igboho arógun má ti dí tó ń jà fẹ́tọ̀ Yorùbá ní tilé tó kó.
Kí ló kà? Kí ló wí? Kí ló
To everyone that have joined us again, auxiliary ti yá dànù. Mukaila auxiliary don run for his dear life. Wọ́n ní Igboho ṣe bá gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì jà. Auxiliary gan sá lọ. Ẹ wá dúró ìbọn tó bá nínú ilé ẹ̀. Shout out to everyone that is watching us. It's the afternoon conversation. And my name is Olayomi Koiki. Ẹ já gbọ́ díẹ̀ again níbí.
Trump pé ilé-iṣẹ́ àwọn Nàìjíríà fi máa wò táwọn máa fi yà jẹ wọ́n tó jẹ́ pé in other countries.
I want us to listen to Baba Akintoye. It's a 54-minute video that I'll be dissecting and I'll be playing. We don't have to tell anything. You know, this is the one I want to do with today. So we have ample of time. If I don't mention all the names, I know you are all there and I respect and I love you as well. Mukia, Comrade Plan B, Alao Baba, and the rest of you on the Mix LR. We are only 1 hour, 30 minutes into the program. And this is Koiki Media Live. Shout out to everyone on the Instagram. Shout out to those of you that are listening to us on all the platforms around the world. The Yorubas, Tiwo Dasi, Marabot Lushishelaran, they've locked them behind the scene and they cannot understand the reason why we are fighting for the right to self-determination. And they will never understand, because as far as they are okay in that poverty mentality and they are praying that one day things will change, nothing is going to change in Nigeria.
Countries,
so many things that Baba is saying here. If other countries is going through what Nigeria is going through, just think about what should have happened. I'm not going to tell you. You want to go runu see. If countries, if Baba Akintoye is telling us that we are in danger, and that danger, if we do not get out of it now, is going to have a big impact on our life. So many Nigerians do not understand that their life is being held in bondage. So Baba Akintoye is explaining these to us. That the reason why Nigerians are not participating, every single Nigerian is under the influence of Marabot. These are the Marabot the Fulanis are using to hold every one of us, until some of us started asking questions that why are things not working the way it's meant to work? If things are working outside the country, why are things not working the same way in Nigeria? Let's go again. Do you know how many rallies? So what we're going to be doing today, as Baba Akintoye is talking, let's go and look at, is there any protest going on around the world today? Is there any rally going on around the world? Can we say that people are protesting? As at 13 hours, a man has been charged over Epsom Derby track protest. This was 13 hours ago. Poland protests demand a change in Warsaw. Poland opposition brings hundreds of thousands of people. This is still an ongoing. Èmi àti Azeez ń sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá, kí ló dé tẹ̀yìn ọmọ Yorùbá ò fi gbọ́ràn? It's because of the Marabot of the Fulanis. The Fulanis are using Marabot on us. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà nílé. The reason why the Nigerians are not, by now Nigerians are not protesting because they are doing a lot of voodoo, Marabot. Look at the headline here. Too many adverts from all this nonsense. I need to cut out all this nonsense. Too much adverts of until rubbish coming onto the screen. Advert about you. Poland opposition brings hundreds of thousands on the street to protest against a nationalist government. Let us hear what Baba Akintoye is saying here, that some of the things happening in Nigeria should have led to so many protests, but they are not going to protest because everybody is locked under a bondage. My name is Olami Koiki.
Yes.
Do you know that Baba Akintoye is so highly intelligent? You cannot compare him with Tinubu. This man is sitting there for over, this video is 54 minutes 46 seconds. Baba Akintoye is as intelligent as sharp. A lè compare wọn pẹ̀lú Tinubu láyé, gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ. And he's 88, even though we don't have the actual age of Bola Tinubu. Let's listen again.
Yeah. Only so àwọn Fúlàní àwọn ọlọ́pàá dẹ̀ wá lóòótọ́ wọn dẹ̀ wọnú ilé wọn bẹ̀ sí ṣáàjì yàrá wọn ṣáàjì kíchìn wọn ṣáàjì. Ìkan lára àwọn senators ó ní ìyàwó ìyá àwọn ìyá tó bí wọn wà ní ọ̀dọ́ níjọ́ yẹn tó sì tó wà ní yàrá kan. Òun sọ pé ìyá wa bẹ wọn jẹ káwé ká wọn sílẹ̀ gbẹ wọn lédè wọn wo wá bẹ́ẹ̀ nìjí pé màmá wà wọn wá bẹ́ẹ̀ wọn ṣe gbogbo. Yes, that's how Nigeria is being governed. Anybody tó bá rò pé àwọn Fúlàní everything they do is guided by the marabouts.
It is the marabouts that is holding as many people backwards in Nigeria, and that is why Nigerians do not react. They will react for a few minutes and they will give excuses. Oh, do you want them to kill us like they kill people in Lekki Toge? As I speak to you right now, there is an ongoing protest in Poland. And what is the reason for that protest? The reason for that protest is nothing more than the fact that hundreds of thousands of protesters have gathered in Warsaw on Sunday, the 34th anniversary of Poland's first post-war democratic election. For a march the liberal opposition has billed as a test of its ability to end nearly 8 years of the nationalist rule later this year. Crowd stretching for at least a mile march with banner reading "Free European Poland, European Union yes, PIS no," referring to the governing Law and Justice Party. So then you would then want to go to Poland and live there comfortably well, knowing fully well that they are also fighting for something. Some held the mask of a ruling party leader. Jara saw that at the word shame written on them, 500,000 people were marching. This is what I've been asking for. 500,000 Yoruba people in Lagos State that will tell the world that we are ready. We don't need anything. We don't need guns. We don't need anything. Just give me the 500,000 in Lagos State. And let's see if the world is not going to listen to us. And we will be there, just as Baba Akintoye told us, as long as we want. Do you think that 500,000 people on the street, some are asking, what are we going to be eating? What are we going to be drinking? Who is going to cater for us? As if people are catering for them in their house as we speak today. Now that we are not doing protests, everybody is in their house. Who is catering for you? Ta ló ń fún yín lóúnjẹ? But the Yoruba people are not going to do that because you are under the influence of the marabout of the Fulanis. And the agenda is to keep you like that as long as they can wish. So if 500,000 people have come out in Poland to demand for something, then you are waiting that prayer will solve your problem. You will have to wait for a very long time. Let's continue to pray. Prayer is good. But in Poland, you think they don't pray as well. Let's go and look at Poland and see, Poland. Let's go and look at the background of a country called Poland. So if we look at Poland today, their population is not even up to the Yoruba people. Poland are 37.5 million according to the 2021 World Bank. But they are out there protesting in their millions. But the Nigerians will not protest because we go to church, we go to mosque, we go to our traditional institution, and they tell us not to protest because God will come and answer our prayers at the appropriate time. And the question is, this has been going on for the last 63 years. We have been praying. But Baba Akintoye, in the video that was produced over the weekend in Benin Republic, told us that the reason why Nigerians are not protesting, they are under the influence of the marabout of the Fulanis. Let's go back to the protest, but let's go back and ask questions. The fatality rate in Poland is 1.38. Their gross domestic product is $679.4 billion US. And you, as a Nigerian, you want to get to Poland, go and live there, while we are all saying that let us ask for our right under the indigenous people so that we can leave Nigeria and we can go away from Nigeria. But some of you doesn't want to go away from Nigeria because you are still trying to rectify the problem of Nigeria that you are under the influence of the Marabot. Àwọn Fúlàní ti ṣògùn pa gbogbo yín. Let's go and listen again to Baba Akintoye here.
Everything they do towards Nigeria is guided.
Nigerians were there. They'll be looking like zombie. Nigerians are like zombie. Zombie, oh zombie. That's what Bella say. Zombie, oh zombie. It's unfortunate I can't play that music because it's going to go against the YouTube copyright. Zombie, oh zombie. So when you see zombie, you go no say na zombie. Nigerians are zombie. They're gonna look like that. Zombie, zombie. Go to everywhere in Nigeria now. There be zombie. 37 people die. Everybody just be zombie. They're gonna look zombie. You are under the influence of the Fulani Marabot. Your church say don't protest. Imagine church will say you cannot protest. Don't protest. It's the will of God not to protest. Church go say the same thing. Mosque go say the same thing. Even our king go say, don't trust them. Don't cause problem. Oh, don't listen to Koiki. Oh, you know Koiki is not in Nigeria. You know Koiki and his family is outside Nigeria. He's trying to cause division among us, as if we love each other before. There is so much hatred among us that Baba Akintoye in the letter that we sent to Tinubu stated it clearly here at page. Where is it? Under page 4 of the document, Baba Akintoye says, and I read, but these are not the Yoruba people. But these are not all that the Yoruba people have suffered in Nigeria. Even intensified cordon. All these Oyibo are too big. So let's go and look for the definition of cordon. Because you know Baba Akintoye is a professor. So we have to break it down to the layman. So when we use the word, let me see if I can get the sound as well. When we say cauldron, when we use cauldron, when we say cauldron, it is called a large metal pot, like your mama cooking pot, with a lid and handle used for cooking over an open fire. Situation characterized by instability and a strong emotion. You can see, Baba, why you not let us understand this English? It's too much for Yoruba people. Baba Akintoye sọ pé tẹ́ bá ti gbọ́ anywhere tẹ́ bá ti ní according to you say, but these are not that the Yoruba people have suffered in Nigeria, even intensified like a cooking pot and they put it under the fire. Imagine we are mocking Baba Yawa Pastor Mo. Shout out to those of you that have joined us on the Twitter space. It will be a mixture of English and Yoruba, but we will try to carry as many people because I know it's only our Biafra that they listen to us on Twitter. The Yoruba people don't get Twitter, only few of us. Biafra. They say they go lock Biafra land today. They make sure they lock it down. And you say they are not ready. The only thing is when they come and tell us, Koiki, you are not doing anything, I say, shut up. You have not got your country as well. We are all still in that Nigeria, okay? Everybody is still trying. Don't come and tell us, where is Sunday go? That's where we get a little bit upset with them. But the intelligent one don't ask those stupid questions. Hey, Yoruba people, what are you doing? Is it because Tinubu is there, nobody's talking? As if we have not been talking. They think that they are the only one talking. They don't watch our program, but they are here, they will say, we are not doing anything. Those are especially the people from the doors. I don't think people from autopilot talk like that. They are divided. They are so divided as well that they get so many people inside them as well. It is time that we break up Nigeria, but people don't want to be breaking up because why? Cauldron. It is called CAULDRO. I say whenever you are listening to Koiki Media, you must get pen and paper because there's too many grammar that comes sometimes and we use dictionary to break it down. So when we say, what is the meaning of cauldron? When we say, what is the meaning of cauldron? It is when you put a kettle on fire. Now, if I want to go and drink tea, imagine the water is boiling and I put my hand. Do you think I will survive it? This is the reason why Nigerians are not ready. They are still trying to, hey, we're going to bring Peter Obi as if Peter Obi is not a criminal. Bomb bastard. Peter Obi that is a criminal guy. They say, no. Peter Obi will come and fix Nigeria because he's a lawyer man. Imagine they will tell you that Peter Obi carries bag with the people. Imagine that. They even say Tinubu will know that he doesn't have the strength. So they have to carry everything for Tinubu. If possible, they will carry him before he go to toilet. That's why they use Pampers for Tinubu. so that he doesn't go and poo-poo and disgrace us. And yes, he's a Yoruba man, but we will negotiate with him, and that is the reason why the letter has now been communicated to Bola Ahmed Tinubu by our father. Baba Akintoye say, but these are not all the reason why we suffer in Nigeria. Ever intensifying cauldron. I am now giving you the meaning of cauldron. It is called something resembling a boiling cauldron in an intensified or degree of agitation. Nigerians are going through boiling water as we speak right now. Even if there's another water wey fit boil pass the one they are going through. Imagine they destroyed the biggest printing hall in Abuja over the weekend. Crazy country. Imagine Kanu new governor say he does not like the building that they put up there because he doesn't like Ganduje. We know Ganduje Gandola is a criminal. So they destroy everything. Kentos Ababi, my sister. Oluchi Efago, good afternoon to you. This is the time that everybody must come out. But because they are not coming out, you know what? Baba Akintoye is telling us here, listen to this father. He will be speaking in Yoruba for those that do not understand Yoruba, but I will try and translate it. But what is just saying here, just in a nutshell, is that there are so many Nigerians that will not do anything. They are under the influence of Marabot, the Fulani Juju. At least everybody knows Juju. Yoruba get Juju, Igbo get Juju, but Fulani to get Juju, Kanuri get Juju, Ishekiri get Juju, everybody get Juju, but the Juju are for different reasons. But the Fulani are using their Juju to hold everybody back. And if you don't understand that, listen to Baba Akintoye here.
Táwọn máa fi yà jẹ wọ́n tó jẹ́ pé in other countries tó bá ṣe irú rally àti ṣẹlẹ̀ ní.
Baba Akintoye say in other countries, if the situation in Nigeria has been like that, there will be rally all over the place. And I'm telling you, as we speak right now, there is an ongoing rally in Poland that have 1 million people. That is what we've been asking for. Koiki, who is going to sponsor us? Who is going to give me the money to come to Lagos State? And all this nonsense that Yoruba people are asking for because they are not ready. So let's look at the video. This is a video coming on YouTube, and this video is the protest that is going on presently inside Poland. Are there two heads? No, it's because we are not going to do anything.
Now, where thousands of people have been.
Thousands of people. This is BBC. At least you don't trust Koiki Media. Go and let's check BBC. Mumu people will tell you come out, let's protest. They'll tell you Buki Baba Akunle Shita. Shout out to those of you that are joining us on all the platforms. We are streaming on different platforms, and I say welcome to Koiki Media as we continue to agitate under our right to self-determination. Diplomacy will be as much as possible. There's no way we can throw away diplomacy. There's no way we can throw away. Is it because Tinubu is a Yoruba man, we will then say we don't negotiate with him? No. You want me to go and negotiate with Say Baba? Say Baba is gone now. And Say Baba has gone. And Say Baba remind me what he said when Wasiu was saying this. Let's first listen to this before we listen to the protest in Poland.
Buhari ti sọ̀rọ̀ àti gbọ́. 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 Ó tún yá Say Baba, Say Buhari, Say Baba, Say Buhari, Say Baba, Say Buhari.
I congratulate fellow Nigerians who have realized their power, that their votes count. I'm looking forward to tomorrow to fly to my base and go back to my cows and sheep.
Because his cows and sheep are what?
Which are much easier to control than fellow Nigerians.
Buhari say the cows are much easier to control than you because it's Fulani Marabot. Let's now leave Buhari alone. Bob Bastard is watching me somewhere in Daura now. Now let's come back to the protest in Poland. This is BBC, and this is June 4. Okay, this is not last year. When I tell Yoruba people, let's come out and protest, they say, I am asking for money. That's why I ask for protest. They say, Koiki, you need money. That's why you're asking for protest. But in Poland, nobody pays them. Everybody comes out and fight for their right. And you want to go and live in that same country after they've settled down so that you can get their paper. We can never be one with the Hausa people, with the Fulani people, with the Igbo people, with the Shekeri people, but we can live side by side as neighbors. Neighbors. Just like UK has their right to leave the European. Don't come and tell us, hey, we will try and live together. No, we cannot live together. We will never live together because there is never unity. The hatred, before I play that video, there's so much hatred in Nigeria today that hatred will continue until we break that country. And that is exactly what Baba Akintoye is saying. But these are not all that the Yoruba people have suffered in Nigeria. Ever intensified cauldron, which we relate to as a cooking pot of the inter-people's hatred. We hate each other so much that we don't want to live together anymore. And if you think that there will be peace among us, let me take you back again to what Baba Akintoye say here. There will never be peace among us. That same scenario remains with us today. After the failed 1959 constitution, the 1959 election that was rigged for the Northerners by the British government. So Nigerians stand at this moment in a devastating pains of an unresolved nationality problem. Everybody's asking, who is a true Nigerian? Is Tinubu a true Nigerian? Is Koiki a true Nigerian? Is Gowon a true Nigerian? No, we are not Nigerian. Nigeria was put together by the British in 1914 to distort and distamage and take away our heritage. Nigeria is just a fraud. It's a scam. And that scam is what they are using to you, that they've been able to run a fuel subsidy for the last 8 years, and information is now coming out that they never paid anybody for that fuel subsidy. So who actually has been chopping money from that fuel subsidy? One bastard people. Nigeria stand at this moment in a devastating pain. Are you not paying? They destroy businesses, they break away people. Since Tinubu has been in power for 1 week, 81 Nigerians have died. Your life means nothing to all of these politicians. These politicians care less. But in Poland, what they do is, they come out, make I go make myself something before 4 minutes is finished. Enjoy this video as it's about to be shown on the BBC. It says 1,000, but from what we read on CNN, it says 500,000 people. Can you get 500,000 Yoruba people to get on the street? They'll be asking me now, as if they are eating something before. When we tell people to come out now, the first thing is, who is going to send me transportation fare? I think we are not doing protests anymore now, so everybody's living their life. Let's listen to this.
Part in an anti-government rally.
Anti-government rally. Did you hear that? Anti-government rally.
Could be used to target opposition politicians in an election year. Well, here's Donald Tusk speaking at that rally as it started.
Did you hear? That is their language. Now they have to translate to English because they don't need to speak English. English is a fraud.
See how strong we are, how many of us are ready, just like back then, 30, 40 years ago. To fight again for a democratic and free Poland, for our rights. This voice will not be stopped. That giant has woken up. I'm proud that I can be here and say, we will win.
That was a Polish politician, Donald Tusk, there.
If I tell my own people to come out, they tell me to shut up.
From our news, and thanks for joining us. In terms of this new law, what does it actually mean?
Let me pause that pause. 1,000 march in Poland against a new law. Can Nigerians come out and march and say, no, we were killed during the EndSARS, so you this guy, shut up. Don't kill us again. The one way they kill us, Britain is still trying to sort problem out. Imagine after everybody was shouting, they were filling petition, I was laughing. Hey, we have hit 100,000 petition in UK. They're going to discuss it. They're never going to discuss anything anymore. Everybody was happy after the EndSARS. Hey, Britain is going to talk. Yeah, they did talk about it. And that was the end of it. We will never be one. We can never be one. Let me read again briefly because we are treating the letter that Baba Akintoye sent to Tinubu while I'm preparing, me and I go eat something. Now Nigerians, they're hungry. Me, I'm not hungry. I get food. So if my stomach and my arm, all my worms are telling me I need to eat something, I am already warming something to eat, okay? Yeah, I'm telling you now. So that, you're aware. If you want to come and put your face inside, come and put your face, bumper style. On this historical occasion of the inauguration of our beloved brother, some say, why are you calling me your brother? Is he not our brother? Is Tinubu not a Yoruba man? Is it because he is a Nigerian president now? Is he not a Yoruba post? Is Tinubu not a Yoruba first? Even though we know his ambition is just to become the president and waste our 8 years again as we continue to agitate, because nobody knows when we're going to break away from that shito country, but negotiation must start since we don't have any weapon to fight. Now say, why not they call on your brother? No be our brother. Our brother, we no one listen because Marabo, they work for him body. Our beloved brother Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Nigeria, I, Professor Banji Akintoye, the Chairman of the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, for and on behalf of the overwhelming majority of the Yoruba people. It does not matter whether you are not interested in the breakup, okay? If you are not interested, you are under the influence of the marabouts of the Fulani, and that's exactly what Baba Akintoye is saying here. Let me play you again.
Bàbá wa bó la wá ti rí bó ní Yorùbá ti rí èdè yẹn àṣà yẹn tó dẹ̀ gbé sínú ọmọ.
Every time everybody will say, hey, our mouth is not working together, really. They say, èpè àwúlẹ̀ kankan ṣẹlẹ̀. Stop deceiving yourself. You are under the influence of the marabout. The marabout are the one that are holding you, not anything. So let me go back again to that letter. Home and in diaspora worldwide, who seek self-determination. And I've explained so many times every day what self-determination means under the UN Charter, under the African Union, under the European Union. It is our fundamental human right to say we don't want to be with this nonsense country called Nigeria. It is a bastard country that has taken us backward, that even the English, imagine British, they tell me, say, make I go do English before they can give me certain things in this country. Can you imagine? The same English wey they say make I dey read, are they saying that that English is not enough? Do you know that before you can get your right to stay in this country, indefinite stay, and your British passport, and some people that wants to come here for visa, some people that wants to come and work here, they will tell you to go and take TOEFL exam, SAT exam. I mean, it's crazy. Are we not stupid people to be told that go and study another English exam before you can get to UK? When we are speaking English, we are not Poland. These are the Polish people that are speaking Poland. These are the French people that are speaking French. But they will tell me to go and study English, go and do English exam before you get to UK, even though English is meant. So that means the whole structure is a fraud. And that is why we can never be one. The breakup of Nigeria must happen, and it will happen in our lifetime. Let's go back again to where is that BBC video that we're playing? Okay, let's go back to the BBC video so that I can go and deal with other things behind the scene. I'm coming.
Can you explain to us what this will mean for future elections and opposition?
Pastor Mo, when you come to study English,
set against the context that obviously we're in an election campaign now. There's going to be an election in October or November of this year, and you heard there Donald Tusk trying to galvanise supporters. He is basically trying to harness the spirit of 1989. Today is the anniversary of the first democratic elections in the transition away from communist rule. So that's the backdrop. The law itself has helped to bring people to the streets. It is setting up a commission that will look into from 2007 onwards, what the politicians may have paid undue influence to Moscow. It's going to examine things like energy deals, for example, and all this is set against the backdrop of the war in Ukraine, but the opposition politicians are suspicious of the timing. They say what it actually is doing is providing a lever to bash the opposition politicians and potentially ban them from office. It's no coincidence, it seems, that the Commission starts looking at the period from 2007, which is when Donald Tusk himself was Prime Minister of Poland before he became President of the European Council later on. And he is expected to stand for Prime Minister later against the current governing Prime Minister, Matteo Morawiecki of the Law and Justice Party.
Daniel, we were just looking at pictures actually in Warsaw. I think roughly about 500,000
Imagine BBC going to Warsaw. Imagine if Yoruba protest start, BBC will have no option than to talk about it when they see 500,000 people on the street of Lagos.
it will certainly be it's a very useful rallying cry.
I don't need this all this talk analysis. All we need is that people that are protesting
in the lead.
Shut up. Let's go and find the proper video, the one where they protest, the one where they go see crowd. Let's go and watch this one.
One of the biggest.
We on those one will give you the right thing. BBC, British Bias Corporation. You believe anything from BBC, you are wasting your time. My name is Olayemi Koiki. Maybe you don't even know this platform. You just jump in here. This is a platform that educate and enlighten our people, called the indigenous people, on their right to self-determination and why we need to break away from Nigeria as quickly as possible under the leadership of Professor Adebanjo Akintoye and the leaders of those that are operating on our behalf, called the YSDM, the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, under the leadership of Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho, Chief Ayiloke, and so many individuals that are working tirelessly so that we can get our freedom. Now, let's go back again.
Government demonstrations in 30 years. 500,000 demonstrators packed the streets of central Warsaw. The demonstrators marched against Poland's right-wing populist government.
Listen to me very well.
On the 34th anniversary of Poland's first democratic elections in 1989. Smaller gatherings also took place in other cities and towns across Poland. The crowd marched with banners which read, and I'm quoting here, "Free European Poland." European Union, yes. PIS, no. Referring to the governing law.
Did you see the crowd?
Party, PIS.
Can you give me this kind of crowd?
Against high inflation, cost of living, and the LGBTQ+.
But all they want is when we say this kind of crowd, this was what Oloye Sunday Igboho was trying to pull. And let me take you back to one of his videos in Igogon. I was there. I saw that people are ready, but unfortunately, because of the selfish interest of some individuals, they do not understand that Igboho is the man. So let me show you Igogon that we visited. Watch this video. I know, the crowd in Poland, you might think is as many, but if we continue with the projection of Igboho, we would have at least shut down Lagos State on the 3rd of July 2021. But the Fulani, in conjunction with some Yoruba politicians and some kings, and Seyi Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, that is aware, invaded and wanted to assassinate Igboho. But watch this video. This was in Igogon when Igboho came out and said, enough of the killings of our people by the Fulani terrorists. As we speak today, over the weekend, 37 people were killed in Sokoto State by the same terrorists, so it hasn't stopped. Did you see the crowd? In Jerry crowd here, this is the same crowd that you are seeing in Poland today, but the difference is the Yoruba people are saying, no, we don't need this kind of crowd. What we just need to do is, we should just not do anything. No. Let's go back and watch Poland. Massive Polish opposition rally was held in Warsaw. Nigerians are under the influence of Marabot. And they don't want you to wake up. I met a woman as I was going out to my day activities this morning. She said she met another woman that just spent 20 million naira to relocate all her family to UK because she's no longer safe in Abuja. Let's listen to this.
That has allegedly eroded the democratic norms in the country. This comes ahead of a legislative election which is due to take place later this year.
Rzeczywiście jest tak, że to miejsce, w którym tutaj jesteśmy,
Yeah, I don't have hope, I have certainty. Polls are a wise nation. Throughout history, we have shown that we are a free nation and that we do not know how to live under the boot.
Did you hear what she said? She said, throughout history, we are a free nation. And Nigerians, free people, shout out to those of you on our Twitter space. Thank you so much. Like I said, I'm going to carry along. So English will be part of what we're going to be discussing today. If you want to sit down and listen, you can listen. And like I always say to people, there's a lot of things happening on the social media. But on this platform, our job is to break up Nigeria. Don't come here and come and tell us, don't break up Nigeria. Go and tell your parents and your forefathers who was Nigerian before 1913. Let's go back to Poland, where 500,000 people, biggest anti-government protest in 30 years. I didn't even see the headline there. Massive Polish opposition rally in Warsaw. It is the biggest anti-government protest in 30 years. This is what Igboho was trying to put together. But they knew and they wanted to destroy it. But we will negotiate with Bola Tinubu. Thank you so much, Yawa Buki, Oluwole, Decree 70, DG 475, Mumiwa Felicia Ajadu Grama. Let's go back again and watch this. God Last Brown, thank you so much. Nigeria can never work again. Don't let any pastor fool you and say they are praying for Nigeria. Let them pray for their house. If they want to come and pray for.
And we will not live under the boot of Kaczynski. This is some short episode in the history of Poland that will end. I hope that very soon. The leaders of most opposition...
Did you see the crowd? Everywhere is blocked. How many soldier people will kill? 500,000 people. Hey, who is going to buy water for us when we go and rally? Hey, who is going to do this? Can you see the crowd? I've been asking for this, only God knows, for the last 2 years. Give us the crowd, but they don't want to follow Igboho. Monitor Ebani Igboho Eligba Yoruba Nation. They think I'm joking. We need this kind of crowd to shut down every... This was the crowd that we would have moved from Ojota all the way to every part of the airport, all the way to Tinkan, Apapa. Imagine if we are moving like this with this crowd heading to Apapa Port. We shut down everywhere and we demand that the government listen to us and facilitate how we will all dissolve this nonsense country called Nigeria. But because some people are under the influence of the Marabot, we don't need guns. We just need 500,000 people. How many soldiers are going to start shooting us from the top? You think they can do that? Look at it. 500,000 people gathered to protest against a nationalist government in Poland. But we are waiting for Babake, Baba Gio, some bishop to pray for us and say Nigeria will be. Did they not pray for Nigeria for the 8 years of Buhari? So what happened? It's the Marabot. That's why Usibajo could not do anything. He's under the influence of the Marabot. I told him to resign 2 years ago. That man did not listen to me until the Marabot kicked in and they destroy him. Usibajo could not do anything. Hey, he's a professor of law. He could not do anything for 8 years under Buhari. They destroy him. I want him to resign. He can resign and let them find somebody else to finish up the project Nigeria. But he never wanted to. Let's finish this part of this video and go back to Baba Akintoye again. This is Koiki Media Live.
Parties encourage their supporters to join the march against the Nationalist Law and the Justice Party. Donald Tusk, the head of the Civic Platform grouping and a former European Union Council chief, welcomed the supporters, saying that the voice of Poles could not be silenced.
A crowd.
If you don't want citizens' rights and freedoms to be violated every day, you're against that.
Did you hear that? If you don't want citizens' rights and freedom to be violated every day, you are against that. Those that are against us today are the ones saying, no, don't break up Nigeria. So that they can continue to violate our rights, violate our freedom, and then live in poverty. And then as Yoruba man, I told you staying in Nigeria has now expired. Even if the 1914 amalgamation did not expire, it is an expired country. Because how can I say I'm under colonial whatever? I'm an English-speaking country. Then I get to this country, they tell me to go and do English exam. Does it add up? Do you know that you cannot get a British nationality? You must go and do an English test after you have done your life in UK. If you want to get your final indefinite stay, you must go and get English test. If you want to apply for certain visa, you have to go and do English test. Is that not crazy? Should Nigerians be doing that? Knowing fully well that Britain was the one that gave us independence, but they have already violated our rights.
Then you're against PIS. If you don't want Polish women to be humiliated,
if you don't want the Yoruba women to be raped, to be marginalized, Mokiya Iyaodua, if you don't want our people to be marginalized anymore, I gotta support the Yoruba nation. We don't hate Tinubu. I've told you that from even before Tinubu said he was going to be president. We don't hate anybody, but those that are saying that they want Nigeria, they are under the influence of the Marabouts. So I'm going to just play a little bit more of this, and then we'll go back to Baba Akintoye. I am reviewing that video of Baba Akintoye interview over the weekend in Benin Republic.
Women to be deprived of fundamental rights.
Fundamental rights.
Life and security.
Life and security.
You're against those who humiliate Polish women. You're against PIS.
Did you hear that? This is what they are fighting for. Everybody is fighting for something. Did you see anybody with gun there? No, they went there in their thousands because that is the only way they can get their message to be heard. And somebody released audio. Koiki, what is the way forward? Koiki, what are you guys doing? We are not hearing anything about Yoruba Nation anymore.
To jesteś przeciw PiS-owi.
Although the opposition has struggled to galvanize support despite widespread criticism at home and abroad, and also accused of eroding the rule of law, turning the state media into government mouthpiece, and also endorsing homophobia. The opposition leader Tusk vowed to win elections later this year.
When we ask people that let us produce flag, some are even criticizing it. Can you not see the flag? Can you see the flag of the Polish people flying very high? But people don't understand how things work in reality. Hey, what are you going to need the flag for? You are just collecting money from us. Hey, you are just fooling us. Even some idiots say that the flag was produced in Nigeria, as if Nigeria has the mechanism to produce the kind of flag I was sending to Nigeria. Because they cannot get the message. So we leave that because that is not our conversation. Let's come back to Baba Akintoye and listen to a father. Like I said, I am reviewing this and I'll be interjecting in at any point where I feel I want to talk into the conversation.
So, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ náà àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá fúnra wọn wá wá òkúta tó jà ara ẹ̀yẹ ara kan tí irú àwọn fúnra.
Every day people oppose what we are doing. They are under the influence of the Marabouts. They are under the influence of the Marabouts. Is that not what they are doing? Try to make Igboho the unpopular man. And they make their own father popular, as if their father has the strength like Igboho. They are trying everything. They try to destroy these two individuals. Let's listen more to Baba Akintoye. Like I said, this is the video that we are dissecting, and then later on, if you want to watch the video without interruption, it's already on our page, or you go to Yonkan Global Media. This interview was granted to Baba Akintoye over the weekend in Benin Republic. And thank you so much to the president of Yonkan and all the team that traveled down there. Every travel out of Nigeria to Benin Republic is very, very risky. I'm praying for Uboyi.
Yes. If we are between to one again, between one again. Kí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ Yorùbá máa dìde ká máa dìnnà àti ìbẹ̀rẹ̀ ọlọ́pàá tó dẹ̀ máa ṣẹlẹ̀. So when I see people like that, they máa ń pariwo pé àwọn jẹ́ kínní kan wọ́n fẹ́ ẹgbẹ́rún sákìlẹ̀ ìgbà tó máa ń wò wọ́n. These are products of the Marabouts.
Product of the Marabu. Ṣé n gbọ́ gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá? They are the product of Marabu.
Kì í ṣe pé wọ́n fẹ́ ti Yorùbá nation but they are under an influence àwọn kan wò.
Wọ́n ti bewitch wọn.
Oh yes, bewitch. Ọ̀gbẹ́ni kan lára àwọn mẹ́rin tájọlọ mẹ́rin yẹn tájọlọ sí Senate tó yẹn. He was a commander in the Air Force, kó tó retire. The ones fight family yẹn. Àjọwà nínú mọ́tò bọ́ọ̀sì ìgbà kan padà kúrò bẹ́ẹ̀. Ó ní kí Nàìjíríà understand the matter. Ó ní lòun lead the Air Force contingent to wait on the President of Nigeria nígbà Abacha. Òun wà as the commander of the Air Force contingent that waited on President Abacha. Ó ní iṣẹ́ wọn tó ń ṣe òkúkọ̀ ju wípé káwọn gbé aeroplane lọ sí Senegal wọ́n ti kó àwọn márùn-ún yẹn lọ́dọ̀ káwọn kó wọn wá gbàtà bá tún ṣẹ̀dá kan tó kó wọn lọ. Ó ní lájẹ́ ẹjọ́ tí Abacha kú àwọn márùn-ún yẹn ló wá sọ fún àwọn táwọn jẹ́ Air Force command ló wá kalẹ̀ lọ sọ pé the president is dead.
Did you hear that? Are you listening? Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá. Ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ ń gbọ́ tí bàbá ń sọ yìí.
Oh yeah. Jésù. So that's what we are living with.
We are dealing with a very very demonic people.
Ẹni tó sọ burúkú ẹni tó sọ pé Yorùbá ṣe é jàgbó kankan yẹn àwọn product Marabou.
The product of Marabou.
Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ló ní irú àwọn bẹ́ẹ̀ olóòtú gbogbo ẹ̀ product of Marabou. Ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ jẹ́ ká kíyè sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ká lè máa kẹ̀ ká kíyè sára Ọlọ́run á ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Bàbá wa àfẹ́ dá yín ní because ẹ̀kọ́ yẹn pọ̀. Ṣé ọ̀rọ̀ yìí wọ́n ti gbè sínú ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn wa ẹ̀ àtọmọ kékeré òun náà mo sọ̀rọ̀ ìránṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run lẹ́ẹ̀kan tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá ọba aṣọ tiẹ̀ ìjòyè aṣọ tiẹ̀
gbogbo wọn pátápátá they are operating under the influence of spiritual influence of the Marabou. Fẹ́ kí Yorùbá máa lò tú kọ́ máa unite kọ́ máa bára wọn jà. Especially ẹni tó bá dìde léwu akíntólè yẹn tó lóun fẹ́ gbà wọ́n síbẹ̀ ká máa báyà akọ́jú ìjà sí ká máa sọ burúkú nípa ẹ̀. So nígbà tá a bá ń sọ burúkú nípa ẹ̀ know where it is coming from. Therefore, don't let it touch you. I know where it is coming from. The enemy is engineering my own people against me. So what I do is ignore them and pray for God's protection. That's all. So bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn ẹnìkan Yorùbá very few nations in the world ló wà united between Yorùbá.
Sorry those of you on the Twitter space, I hope you can still hear me. I had a call that came through. So we are listening to, let me pause that a little bit. Baba Akintoye is explaining to us, how was it? Okay. Explaining to us reason why we need to get out of Nigeria. But we cannot do that because there's a lot of influence of devilish people that wants to keep everybody to Nigeria. Keep them in Nigeria. Don't let them think straight. Let them think about, just why do you want to go out of Nigeria? People will be asking us, why? Why do you want to, break Nigeria? Instead of them to be asking, why should we be in Nigeria? Because Nigeria is a death trap. Nigeria is holding us backwards. Nigeria is not giving us, the reasons to be part of that country anymore. But the Yoruba people there are not thinking in that direction. They are now asking us why. Why? Koiki, why are you fighting? Why are you supporting, the breakup of this beautiful country? Imagine some Nigerians are telling you Nigeria is so beautiful because they cannot think. Because they cannot think anymore. Nigerians are the one that will be telling you, no, don't let us break Nigeria. Nigeria is going to work. It's just that we have bad leaders. The moment we have, this is the argument they always say. The moment we have good leaders, Nigeria will be great again. And that is the lie that the churches are telling them. Then there will be a new Nigeria. All these fake pastors with on the social media today. They're telling Nigeria there's a particular one they keep coming up every now and then. Only there will be new Nigeria. I don't know where the God is speaking to him that there will be new Nigeria. All these fake men of God that continue to deceive innocent people. Instead of them to say, this country is not one. God never created Nigeria. Nigeria was not put together by God, but rather they're telling lies. They are telling Nigerian lies upon lies. So let's go back to Baba Akintoye one more time. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo wa tí ẹ̀ ń gbọ́ wa tí ẹ̀ dẹ̀ ń wò wá ní gbogbo àgbáyé.
Àwọn countries kéékèèké tó ṣe wá yapa kúrò ní ara Russia ara Soviet Union tó wá lè kéde táwọn gbogbo àwọn Uzbekistan Pakistan kàkà gbogbo wọn mo ti dé rí gbogbo wọn mo ti dé rí. Those are the most remote countries in the world. Káṣọ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ gbogbo àwọn country yòókù tó wà ní Europe, tó wà ní North Africa, ní South Africa, ní Central America, ní West Indies gbogbo ẹ̀mọ́. There is no nation, one single nation, tó wà as united as the Yorùbá nation.
Gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pàápàá jùlọ èyí tí ẹ̀yin ṣe mídíà, màmá wa Lady K, Kowé, Masbi, bàbá wa Ọmọlúkà, bàbá wa Koiki Media, ẹjọ́ ẹ bá wa táìpọ̀ ẹ̀ pé gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ bá wa because afẹ́ Ọlọ́run fẹ́ tú iyì ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn statement yẹn ìdè ni wọ́n ti fi jí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá kò jẹ́ kó ní sense of belong pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá is worth fighting for, dying for. Bọ́tọ̀ ń ṣe ṣẹ̀dá ènìyàn. Look at the country all over the world. You see Russia fighting for Russia. Ukraine nígbà tí ìjà bẹ́lẹ̀ between Russia and Ukraine àwọn ọmọ Ukraine ọmọ Russia tó wà ní other country they let their country come down láti gba ìjà àwọn ilẹ̀ wọn jà. So báwo ni ti Yorùbá ṣe máa wà ẹsẹ̀ fún.
The Yorùbá ò wọ̀ yàtọ̀.
Ó yàtọ̀.
The Yorùbá people are as united, more united than most countries in the world. Yorùbá are united. Ẹgbẹ́ náà ṣe fẹ́ ẹni Yorùbá òkú ní kí ló fẹ́ fẹ́ ní Yorùbá òkú ẹni wá.
Mo fẹ́ ká gbọ́ bíbẹ̀ dáadáa bí ṣe sọ à ń ṣe breakdown ẹ káàsán ìyàwó Latifa ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò mọ́. À ń ṣe breakdown tí bàbá Akintoye interview to grant òun ni mò ń gbé yẹ̀wò padà. Wọ́n máa ní ẹni Yorùbá kù ẹni yóò kù ẹ̀yin Yorùbá tó ṣe jà fún ẹran tó pé ìyàwó èrè kan ní Dublin tó ń sọ jágbajàgba yẹn tó bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ègún làwọn ni àbáwúsá wọ́n máa ní ẹni Yorùbá kù mo kí ms gojare mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin silent listeners wa àwọn elite làwọn bá sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn average people là ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ mo fẹ́ kí a máa ṣí etí wa we don't have to believe in this movement but Nigeria, do you believe in Nigeria? Bẹ́ẹ̀ni ẹsà dog àwọn wèrè jáde sọ jágbajàgba ṣé ègún làwọn ni táwọn kì í ṣe mọ́ Yorùbá ni I still don't understand some of them but they are not going to hold us back. Wọ́n ní protest rock Nigeria Port Authority Apapa Lagos State as Maritime Workers Union ìtafẹ́ máa ṣe nìyẹn shut everywhere down kó affect àwa náà ẹ jẹ́ sáré lọ mú yẹn jáde fún yín àti kan mọ fún wọn ẹ jẹ́ sì fi bàbá sílẹ̀ mo ṣe rí ẹni shut everywhere that is the only way you know your demands so ìtẹ́ bá ti fẹ́ demand kan ẹ shut it down so ẹ jẹ́ kí n lọ mú protest yẹn wá. Shut everywhere wọ́n ṣe ní sanwó fún yín pípọ̀ àwọn kan ń jí owó ẹ̀yin lè ń ṣe wàhálà shut everywhere.
That is the truth. Even when you go and engage them at civilian level, they will not give you even 20%. They will give you 5%. The question you ask yourself, what is this 5%? What is the value? And that is why we have gathered here today. to decide ourselves whether we have chosen to emancipate ourselves or we still want to be in this country. That is why we are here, democracy. And I believe strongly also that everybody who has gathered here, even in solidarity, still agree with us that it is our responsibility to do what? Emancipate ourselves. And that is why I want to encourage you, salute your courage, and ask you to stay safe with us, because we are one of the world. It's a letter. It's a letter. We are going to do this business. The day we choose to do the other one, we go back to the other side. We have done several.
So this is ongoing as we speak right now. God bless them because they're asking for something. These are the Nigerian Port Authority Apapa that is making huge amount of money and they cannot look after their people. So we wish them all the best of luck. So let's come back again to Babakintoye.
Yes, sir. When the rest of tropical Africa was living in prison, in bush or something, we are the Yoruba people who gathered together. We Yoruba people, we created towns and cities and palaces and big marketplaces. Àwọn aláṣẹ ẹlẹ́nu wọ̀ ọ̀kọ̀ tẹnu wa bá fẹ́ fò kí ló máa kí làwọn fẹ́ ṣe.
Ẹni yóò kọ ẹni yóò kọ ẹyin tẹ fẹ́ gba Yorùbá nation ẹni yóò kọ àwọn wèrè.
And we have achieved great.
Instead of every one of us to come together and demand for our rights.
We create the first Europeans to enter into the interior of Yoruba land, Klapati and his group in 1825 December. When it be yàtọ̀ sí the rest of Africa, big towns at every short distance from one another. Wọ́n ní tábà kúrò ní ìlú kan báyìí, káàró ìlú yẹn recede lẹ́yìn wọn. The noise of another town tún máa dáhùn níwájú táwọn máa gbọ́. Wọ́n ní tí àwọn òyìnbó kan tó wá sí one of the Yoruba towns in 1640 ó ní ọjà tí òun wá sí tó ń gbọ́dọ̀ about 9,000 people ló wà nínú ọjà ìtàn trade nínú ọjà yìí. Only this marketplace is 4 times as big as the market as the new market in Amsterdam.
Chengbo. Let's go and look at Amsterdam. Tí bàbá fi sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan, ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo Amsterdam, and I believe that will be Netherlands kan nìyẹn. Amsterdam. Amsterdam. Yeah. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo Amsterdam. Sorry. Ẹ ká padà. Amsterdam. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo Amsterdam. Country. That would be Netherlands. Amsterdam in which country? Yeah, Netherlands. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo population Netherlands. The Netherlands today, right? Ẹ ṣe gan ni Maize Gold. Ibi báyìí ni a ti máa ń ṣe lecture tá a máa fi kọ́ra wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. So ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ kọ́kọ́ wo ìlú wo ló ń pè ní Netherlands. Tá a bá sọ pé Netherlands, very beautiful. Ẹ wo bó ṣe calm. Gbogbo population wọn kò tó Lagos State. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń gbọ́ wa láàárọ̀ yìí àbí lọ́sàn-án yìí àbí nírọ̀lẹ́ yìí. Gbogbo population Netherlands kò tó Lagos State. The question is, why is Netherlands doing very well and Lagos State is not doing very well? Is because Lagos is under Nigeria. The population of Netherlands as of today is 17.53 million as of 2021. Netherlands informally Holland is a country located in the northwestern Europe. Ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ lọ wo fídíò lú yẹn. Netherlands beyond Amsterdam. Let's see. I'm just looking for a video. They classified Netherlands and NATO in 1949. Why Netherlands is a sailing well design. Okay? This one will be better.
Of bike path density in Europe. All the purple lines are bike paths. And if you direct your attention to the left part of this map, you'll see a coastal country with a lot of purple lines. This is the Netherlands, a densely populated country that knows a thing or two about designing brilliant infrastructure. And the bike paths play a significant role in that. See, with a population of 17.4 million people and a landmass of approximately 41.5 square kilometers, the Netherlands is smaller in size, yet more densely populated than most Europe.
It's smaller in size. It's not until we are Moke Ibadan, Oduyole, they call it the bicycle country. Okay, Shegoni. Sherry, Nigerians that say we need Nigeria. I mean, I wonder sometimes, because how can you say you need something that doesn't need you? Nigeria doesn't want any one of us. Moki Babawa Afunja, Mummy wa ni o, comfort Olúbùnmi Mufitọ̀tọ̀ ló dárúkọ yìí mà. Moki gbogbo ẹ̀yin tá a dárúkọ náà ẹ má bínú. Àárín yín là ṣe dárúkọ yín, tá a bá rí yín, the rest is sure Koiki mà dárúkọ yín. Ẹ má bínú pé my face is not in the broadcast. Mo fọwọ́ ṣe so many things in the background. Ẹ jẹ́ ká wo Monaco 18 million, Vatican 2, Malta. So let's go back again to watch this video. I do not own the copyright of this video. Good afternoon, lẹ́ǹkan sí Mọ́mí wa Latifa Ọlá Òbí Àjàlá tí mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀ dárúkọ. Mo kí gbogbo wa níbi tá a bá wà. Ẹ ṣé gan ẹgbẹ́ ẹni tẹ́ wà ní ẹnu iṣẹ́ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. Àwọn tó ń relax tó gba day off. Àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣe businesses tẹ́ wà nínú shop. Tẹ́ ń tajà ní gbogbo àgbáyé. Títí délẹ̀ Yorùbá tó. Ọlọ́run bẹ Elédùmarè á jẹ́ kí ajé wọnú gbá ọ torí àwọn tó wà níta náà. It's not very easy, but we are praying for the best of Elédùmarè. So ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ díẹ̀ sí bí báyìí.
Countries. So, in order to navigate that, they've come up with effective and interesting ways to handle population movement in...
Population movement. Báwo ni Lagos ṣe fẹ́ deal pẹ̀lú gbogbo 20 million? Everybody wants to go to Lagos. Àwọn ọmọ Igbo wà níbẹ̀, àwọn Hausa wà níbẹ̀, Kanuri wà níbẹ̀, àwa tí a wà ní ẹ̀yìn odi tá jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá tá wà ní gbogbo other state náà ti ń sá lọ sí Lagos. Because wọ́n ní Lagos nìkan ló lówó ní gbogbo Nàìjíríà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. So everybody wants to run there because that is the only place where there is hope. Why is it that it has to be Lagos State alone? That is why infrastructure in Lagos is becoming strained. Many people that are living in Lagos don't have a place to live, especially the foreigners. Àwọn yẹn kàn wọlé, wọ́n jáde, wọ́n kàn wọlé, wọ́n jáde. Nobody know who is who. Báwo làwọn lè ṣe plan ẹ̀? Miss Golden, if you have 10 G-Wagon, you don't have bicycle in Holland, you are not completed. Amazing. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà lọ gbọ́ díẹ̀ sí.
And around the country, the most notable of which is, of course, the cycling infrastructure.
Cycling?
It is.
Òun ni motorcycle wọn lọ́hùn. Wọ́n ní wọ́n kì í fi ṣeré rárá. They don't joke with cycling. They do not joke with cycling. Again, this is Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps.
As serious as everybody says it is, as it enables the 23 million bikes that are in the Netherlands to roam the streets. And by the way, 23 million bikes means that there are 1.3 bikes per capita. That's absolutely insane. I mean, what would the bike per capita be in the United States? Maybe 0.5? What? It's 0.3. That would mean if you met an American, there is a greater chance they're obese than them owning a bicycle. Mad. Anyway, when you combine the Netherlands' bike infrastructure with its amazing public transport, you get a ridiculously smooth and efficient system. Here's how it works in Amsterdam. Commuters will use their bikes to get to...
It's all about the planning. Nigeria plan for anybody. And that is why today we are all in the mess that we're in. If only Nigeria has planned ahead, the mess in Nigeria was bad. But because there was no planning, they didn't plan for the future. Nobody cares about the future, even though some are saying, oh, it's still early. You know, we're only 20-something years into democracy, and then so what? Same way you don't joke with ladies' machine in Benin Republic. Our future in Nigeria is not going to work. We're just under 2.5 hours to the program. Normally, we don't like to go more than the 3 hours not. So we're not doing bad, but let me leave this Netherlands and let's go back to Babakitoye. If it's about Shede, Tabanita and Lati Padawa later, Miro Lemale, we will continue. But let's finish this up.
powerfully united.
Extremely united.
Yes.
Oh my God.
And we will win what we want. What we want is to be a separate country in the world. We will be.
Separate country la fẹ́ àbẹ́lẹ̀ kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú Nàìjíríà.
With people who are saying that we must perish. And the government is helping them to do it. For 8 years now, we have been under the government of the Fulani that is helping the Fulani people. Wow.
Agenda one.
To scatter all over Nigeria and destroy, kill, maim. All over. There have been àwọn Buhari fún ara ẹ̀ ló fẹ́ nu ara ẹ̀ announce that anybody can come from the rest of Africa and come to Nigeria without a passport, without a visa.
And when they are mentioning that Nigeria, Yorùbá náà gangan ní target wọn.
Yorùbá náà ní target wọn because ilẹ̀ ọlọ́ràá nìyẹn.
Wọ́n kàn fi
wọ́n kàn fi Nàìjíríà orúkọ Nàìjíríà bọ̀ Yorùbá náà mi. Yes, so that is it. If people are like that in the country, we give it, and the government is not saying that what they are doing is criminal and therefore acting against them, then the government is supporting them. And therefore we have legitimacy on our part to lead. That is all. That is all. Nobody can do. Nobody in the world can argue against that. That here are people called the Yoruba living in the same country with another people called the Fulani. The Fulani are saying that the Yoruba must perish.
Absolutely.
And the government is not saying no, what we are saying is criminal and acting against them. Then the Yoruba are free to live. That's all. And they can't call the stop war. Nobody can stop us.
So, bàbá wa, ibù gan-an torí àwọn Yorùbá kan tẹ̀ ti sọ pé ẹni tí mò ń bò tí ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan tó ní ìgbò Yorùbá ṣe jà fún mọ́kànlú bá bù wáyà. Ṣèbí Yorùbá náà ló ń jà fún Yorùbá sì ti jẹ lọ. Pé ọmọ Yorùbá kan ti wọlé sí pírẹsidẹ́ǹtì ló ń sọ yẹn. Pé ṣèbí Yorùbá náà ló ń gbìyànjú àti jà fún ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ọmọ Yorùbá dẹ̀ ti jẹ lọ.
Mo fẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ gbọ́ bíbá. Ẹ má bínú, we need the full concentration díẹ̀ ní bíbá. Ó ní kankan tí mo tún rí náà. Ṣé rí this narrative sometimes they are pushing something àwọn kan máa fi àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan sẹ́nu bàbá. Bí wọ́n fẹ́ kí bàbá yẹn ṣì sọ, mo fẹ́ ṣí nǹkan lórí WhatsApp mi. Mo rí another video kan again náà lánàá tí màá fi video yẹn wọ̀nyí nísìnyí. Nígbà tí mo rí video yẹn, bàbá ti sọ clearly so many times. Ká tó padà sí ilé táwọn wò lọ yìí. Mo fẹ́ ká wo ẹni sọ̀rọ̀. Mo fẹ́ ká gbọ́ fídíò yìí. Mo fẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ ká gbọ́ fídíò yìí tí Ọ̀túnba ṣe. Ṣé kò yẹ kó ti máa padà náà? Mo ní ìdìbò tí bàbá ti sọ̀rọ̀ mo ti lọ padà sí wọn bọ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n. Mo fẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ gbọ́ bíbá.
Now, most of the reasons why we want to leave Nigeria and stay on our own has not been met.
Ẹgbọ́n tí wọ́n sọ mẹ́rin, one of the reasons tí Yorùbá people law have now been met. One of the reasons. Kí ni ìdáhùn tí bàbá dáhùn padà? Ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn.
Hold on, sir. Papa, hold on, sir.
There is no one of our reasons for wanting to leave Nigeria is now satisfied. No. So if anybody tells me, Professor Akintoye, one of the reasons why we wanted to leave Nigeria is now satisfied, I will tell him, no, you are wrong.
So you can hear that clearly. So it seems that, sometimes bí a tó bá ń bèrè question, bí a wọ́n fẹ́ fi wo bí a bàbá máa ṣe ọ̀rọ̀ sọ ni, I don't get it. Because kí la ṣe lè sọ pé reason ta ṣe fẹ́ lọ torí pé Tinubu ti débẹ̀, then that has been achieved. Mo fẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ ká gbọ́ fídíò yẹn lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i, mo ń bọ̀.
Most of the reasons why we want to.
Most of the reasons ta ṣe fẹ́ kúrò.
Leave Nigeria and stay on our own has not been met.
Has now been met. a lè negotiate pẹ̀lú Tinubu bọ̀ kò mí pé torí Tinubu ti débẹ̀ reason tá a ṣe fẹ́ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ó ti wà achievable. I mean mo kí bàbá wa fab when I saw this video yesterday tí yàn kan sended tí mo rí wọ́n wọ́dà pé irú question wo ni bàbá wa Ọ̀túnba béèrè lọ́wọ́ professor yìí pé lára ìdí tí Yorùbá ṣe fẹ́ kúrò ní Nàìjíríà àti achieve ẹ̀ pé Tinubu débẹ̀ ambition Tinubu yàtọ̀ bàbá dẹ̀ sọ clearly ṣẹ́rí pé reason tí mo ṣe ní lẹ́tà yìí àwọn statement àwọn máa treat ẹ̀ continuously torí kó lè bá yí ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ because ẹni tó bá gbọ́ bíbá yìí nísìn jó bàbá dá wọn lóhùn padà lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ bàbá dẹ̀ sọ ní bíbá yìí clearly mo fẹ́ obi tí bàbá ti mention kankan níbà lẹ́yìn ìgbà tó kí Tinubu dáadáa ní gbogbo bíbá yìí so bàbá sọ nínú bàbá jẹ́ ká mọ̀ pé Nigeria stand at this moment in the devastating pains of an unresolved nationality problem. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni Mr. Fad, is Tinubu going to continue to rule forever? Tinubu is only there for 8 years. A gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ká máa fi yẹn tẹ́ ilé tí ní gbogbo wa pé àwa ń sọ pé kọ́nà fún lálàáfíà tẹ̀mí gúgù pẹ̀lú gbogbo wa náà kò sẹ́ni kankan tó ń rokú sẹ́nibọ́dì but 8 years ní Tinubu máa lò. But kọ́ wá máa sọ pé one of the achievement of Yorùbá nation òun ni pé Tinubu ti débẹ̀. So mo reason tí bàbá wa Ọ̀túnba ṣe béèrè question nìyẹn. Bí a wọ́n expect kí bàbá Akíntóyè sọ nǹkan míì mo dẹ̀ sọ fún kí bàbá yẹn ó wà very highly intelligent ju Tinubu lọ bí Tinubu ṣe wà yẹn. Mo kí bàbá wa Mukaila mo fẹ́ ká farabalẹ̀ ká tún gbọ́ bẹ̀ yẹn. So question yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ èèyàn kan ló wá bí wọ́n nínú comment section ní èmi ò mọ̀ bóyá àwọn ti prepare question yẹn ni I don't know but ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí question tí Ọ̀túnba Òsénì ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ bàbá Akíntóyè ẹ wá gbọ́ ìbéèrè tí bàbá fún wọn.
Most of the reasons why we want to.
wọ́n kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ ní one or wọ́n tún ní most of the reason tíyàn bá dẹ̀ ń lo most that means pé gbogbo nǹkan torí ẹ̀ ṣe Yorùbá nation òun ni pé torí Tinubu ti débẹ̀ I don't get it.
To leave Nigeria and stay on our own has now been met.
pé ká fi Nàìjíríà sílẹ̀ have now been met pé a ti achieve ẹ̀. ẹja gbọ́ díẹ̀ sí kí ni bàbá fi kódà wọ́n fẹ́ kí bàbá sọ̀rọ̀ bàbá interject wọn ẹja follow ẹ̀ díẹ̀ sí. ṣe gbogbo bàbá lẹ́rìí bàbá yẹn tètè yá sọ̀rọ̀ pé ẹ má kó ṣẹ́kẹ̀ṣẹ́kẹ̀ sí mi lẹ́sẹ̀ mo mọ tí mo ń torí ẹ̀ jà mo mọ tí mo torí ẹ̀ lọ ajókòó sí Benin Republic pẹ̀lú Ìgbòho látọdún 2 mo mọ torí ẹ̀ tí mo sọ fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ìyẹn la ṣe sọ pé ẹ lè ní àṣírí bàbá gbogbo tó ń sọ pé wọ́n ní àṣírí yẹn ṣe waste of time because in tí bàbá máa sọ ní kọ̀rọ̀ náà ló máa sọ ní gbangba. So I don't understand this question and tabade mo para bọ̀ níbẹ̀ and tẹ́bá gbá síbí báyìí again ẹ rí pé bàbá I think something similar to that ẹ̀jẹ̀ àgbọ̀n tí bàbá sọ níbí báyìí.
wọ́n ti sọ pé ẹni tí mò ń kó ti ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́ẹ̀kan tó ní ìgbò Yorùbá ò ṣe jà fún.
wọ́n máa ní Yorùbá ò ṣe jà fún ẹ má jà fún Yorùbá Ìgbòho tó ń jà fún Yorùbá má dẹ̀yìn lẹ́yìn ẹ má jà fún Yorùbá ò ṣe jà fún àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ò dáa bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Ọ̀túnba forget that there is life after 8 years ẹ ṣe gan ni ẹni tó comment yẹn. So like I said mo mọ̀ bóyá yàn kan ló ń bi Ọ̀túnba nínú comment section or maybe it was just a question that was prepared for Mukiyawa Kentos fún àkí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tájọ wà lórí ètò. We are serious about ìtagbédání and àwa máa vẹ́ẹ̀tì gbogbo ẹ̀ ṣé tọ́ǹkì mo kí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mọ́mí wa Àbẹ̀kẹ́ Adé Bákàrè Mr. George mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi George Akínọlá mo kí sísá wa Ṣọlá Sọ̀làkọ́ Abíọ́dún Eré-Ayọ̀ mo kí sà Abdulrahim Jibril mo kí yín o Jimoh Amusa Ọ̀nà Adéọlá Fortune mo fi tọ̀wọ̀tọ̀ mo fi dárúkọ yín Fatai Tajudeen mo kí ẹ gbogbo yín náà ni mo kí ìyàwó Dorcas Shamsuddin mo kí gbogbo yín Michael Idowu ẹja àgbọn tí bàbá sọ yẹ Yorùbá ò ṣe jà fún Ìgbòho àwọn ti advice ẹ àwọn ti wọ́n nẹ̀ ta ló máa wá jà fún wa tí gbogbo bá ní Yorùbá ò ṣe jà fún. bẹ́ẹ̀ ni Maize Gold ní before someone can be called a professor it is not an easy race. ẹ gbọ́ tí bàbá ṣe ẹjẹ́ ń padà bọ̀ ní síbẹ̀ èdè ẹjẹ́ ń ṣe analysis síbẹ̀ dáadáa ẹ̀gbọ́n tí bàbá ṣe sọ pé bàbá yẹn á tètè gbóhùn sókè pé irú kí lélẹ́yìí irú ìbéèrè wo lélẹ́yìí. Ìyá mi gbé mi lékè mo ti rán wọn lọ́gẹ̀dẹ̀ yẹn kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yín. Ìyá yẹn ní Koiki lọ́rọ̀ èyí máa complain pé ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ wọn London ìyẹn á fún ẹ lówó ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ lọ́rọ̀ ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ sílé. Mo ti ní kí ìyàwó mi lọ́rọ̀ ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ mo láìkè ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ dáadáa èjì ọ̀gẹ̀dẹ̀ èsì ń tọ́gẹ̀dẹ̀ fi ṣe thank you so much Dizzy 123. So mo bẹ̀yìn lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i bàbá yẹn ò ní sọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yìn kó tó wá sọ nǹkan mí ní gbangba. Ara ń tàn sọ pé àwọn marabot oríṣiríṣi iṣẹ́ ló ń ṣe àwọn tíṣẹ́ tí wọ́n ní pé kọ́ destroy ẹ ṣe jàre ìyá mi gbé mi lẹ́kẹ́ báńkì girama mo kí ìyàwó Teresa all their own is to destroy Yorùbá ẹjẹ agbọn kan tí ẹjẹ tún rewind ẹ díẹ̀ sí so like I said mo mọ ibi tí question ti fẹ́ jáde débi pé wọ́n bi bàbá pé one of the most of the reason tá ṣe ń jà fún Yorùbá country àti wàá achieve ẹ̀ torí pé Tinubu ti débẹ̀ irú ọ̀rọ̀ wo nìyẹn kẹ̀ kí ni kàn án pẹ̀lú Tinubu débẹ̀ ẹ̀jà gbọ́ fídíò lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí.
Most of the reasons why we want to leave Nigeria and stay on our own has not been met.
How? Wọ́n ti fẹ́ kí bàbá sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n ní kí hold on bàbá ní yẹn sọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n àwọn Yorùbá wọ́n gbọ́n tí mò ń sọ lójoojúmọ́ kọ́má ṣe rí reason tí mo ṣe ń digest letter statement ní gbogbo ìgbà reason yẹn ni pé mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kó yé àwọn èèyàn torí pé mo fẹ́ jẹ́ kó misquote bàbá yẹn especially àwọn tí a ti ní fraction láàrin wa tó máa sọ pé bàbá Akíntóyè ó endorse Tinubu Tinubu ló ń ṣe nísìn gbogbo yẹn nonsense ni gbogbo yín mọ̀ pé rọ́ ni àwa ni ògo ilẹ̀ adúláwọ̀ comrade Bambi ló sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ mo kì í bàbá ò fẹ́ jẹ́ kó misquote òun rárá bàbá yẹn ní jẹ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ á dé mi lẹ́nu jẹ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀. wọ́n tún ní ká hold on kí ló fẹ́ hold on fún bàbá yẹn fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹni ká hold on bàbá fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ kó sọ tó fẹ́ sọ. Baba so only there is no one of our reason to leave Nigeria has now been achieved. No.
So
if anybody tells me, Professor Akintoye, one of the reasons you wanted to leave Nigeria has not been satisfied. No, you're wrong. Baba saw clearly. N-O. No, you are wrong. Wrong here spelled as W-R-O-N-G. Ẹ má tún bèrè orú bèrè ẹ mọ́ lọ bàbá yìí. Mo kí ẹ Ìdòwú Michael. Nigeria is never a stable nation for a very long time. Each day you wake up, you experience bad things. Àwọn kan ti ní pé Koiki bad news ni máa ń mú wá ní Nàìjíríà. Mo ní tó bá ní good news kan fún mi. Ẹ̀yẹn ṣáà send ẹ̀ sí info@Koiki Media. A post ẹ̀ ibikíbi tẹ bá ṣàtìrí good news. Mo kí ẹ lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Dizzy Man. You want us to say Koiki Media is absolutely right. Yoruba can't have a porous border because people are coming into Yoruba land without borders check. Ó dà pé àwọn èèyàn understand border. Bọ̀ wá padà bọ̀ níbẹ̀ yẹn. Ó kàn lè wọ UK anyhow, dó àwọn kan sì wọlé lórí omi. Bàbá yẹn sọ clearly, ẹ jẹ́ kí n tún padà lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ká tó máa tẹ̀síwájú. Torí mo fẹ́ kí ètò ìkó ju 3 hours lọ. Káwọn èèyàn lè gbádùn ẹ̀, ká tún lè padà wá. Kọ́nà kó fún wa lẹ́mìí nígbà tá láfíà, ká lè máa fi ṣiṣẹ́ tá à ń ṣe. Ẹja gbọ́n tí bàbá sọ lẹ́ẹ̀kan àti ìbéèrè tó ń bí wọ́n.
Most of the reasons why we want to leave Nigeria and stay on our own has not been met. Hold on, sir. Papa, hold on, sir.
There is no one of our reasons for wanting to leave Nigeria is now satisfied. No. So if anybody tells me, Professor Akintoye, one of the reasons why we wanted to leave Nigeria is now satisfied, that we tell him, no, you are wrong.
Bàbá yẹn clear kò sọ̀rọ̀ sọ kò kálòlò bíi Tinubu ẹ̀rọ pé Tinubu bá sọ̀rọ̀ gbà mí a máa ń struggle láti gbọ́n tó sọ wọ́n dẹ̀ máa ní a máa ń twist ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ mo náà twist ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ tó bá sọ náà láti sọ. Absorb voice of one Moki. Mr. Fab ni but UK is working tirelessly to stop water passage route as well. gbogbo òdu ló fẹ́ close the border àwọn wọn pé jẹ́ anybody wọlé tó bá fẹ́ wọlé wọ́n fẹ́ mọ orí èèyàn tó fẹ́ wọlé. So I pray and I hope that tá bá interview Baba Akintoye ẹ jẹ́ ká máa fi a bit of Mukie Bidi. No, you are wrong, not no. So.
Okay, someone has told me after president.
No. Ever sọ yẹn. Níbo ni bàbá ti sọ pé a fẹ́ yẹ kí Tinubu di president? Ever sọ̀rọ̀ nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. So mo bẹ̀ gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí i. Ẹ má ẹ̀ka Miss Koti bàbá yẹn, ẹ má bínú. Hello, a wà lórí ètò ta ló ń pè? Mo wà lórí program. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Okay, all right. Okay, ṣe. Wọ́n náà ní ló pé ọdún kan tí àwọn tí wọ́n pa ní Ọ̀wọ̀. Ọdún náà máa ń pẹ́ kẹ̀. Ṣé kó ti pé 1 year? Flash mi padà, mo ti lọ mistakenly delete no fẹ́ save number ẹ̀kọ́ mọ̀ nínú save number yẹn. So wọ́n náà ti bá wa kọ article kan lé lórí. So a máa kà síta. Today in ẹjẹ́ n fi ti ẹ ṣáà ti get tí Ọ̀túnba try láti sọ níbi ẹ̀ so. I just have to play that because in case the ball over pàdé níbò mi so ẹ jẹ́ ká wá ẹ jẹ́ àfi ti bíbà sílẹ̀ díẹ̀ ẹ jẹ́ nǹkan ọ̀pọ̀ bíbà díẹ̀ how many minutes ló kù gbọ́mọ̀ kò ní o ṣe gan ni mo ti rí o ti flash mi mo ti rí drop a ti ṣe okay I have 9 minutes so mo mọ bí tá a sọ̀rọ̀ dé lórí ti Baba Akintoye yìí so ẹ jẹ́ ká fi gbogbo yẹn sílẹ̀ ká kí àwọn tí wọ́n kó ní Ọ̀wọ̀ k'Ọlọ́run ọba Elédùmarè kó má yẹ ká tó rírú ẹ̀ mọ́ Ọlọ́run ọba ọjọ́ ìní má jẹ́ kílẹ̀ Yorùbá sunkún gbogbo ẹni tó bá wá ní kílẹ̀ Yorùbá sunkún kí Ọlọ́run dá sẹ̀ríà fún un so ẹ jẹ́ ká ka ìtàn ọmọ wa kọ síta lẹ́nìí today in the history kábíyèsí Elédùmarè ọba àjọkẹ́ ayé àṣàkẹ́ ọ̀run ọba tó ń wù bó ṣe wù ló ń ṣọlẹ̀ àwọn èèyàn kúkú mọ̀ péjọ kan máa wà lẹ́nìí báyìí tí Fúlàní máa wọlé sínú ṣọ́ọ̀ṣì á dẹ̀ pa wọn ẹ mọ̀ péjọ Sunday ló bọ́ sí níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn but ẹ mọ̀ pé tí ọdún bá ń dé ìjẹ̀dé yẹn máa ń change mo fẹ́ lo background Ọ̀wọ̀ yẹn ni ìyẹn mo ṣe ń slow down there so kó má jẹ́ pé background tá à ń lò kò ní reflect mọ́ ní tá à ń sọ kọ́lọ̀ fún Akérédolú lálàáfíà wọ́n ní ìwọ deputy governor wọ́n ní ìwọ gan ní o ṣèyàn dáadáa èmi dẹ̀ ń gbèjà ní bíbà wọ́n ní ìwọ gan bó ṣe máa pa Akérédolú lòun wá kí wọ́n náà máa jẹ́ tiẹ̀ o lè ní gbogbo yín 419. now intan wo yìí ẹ jẹ́ adjusted Ọ̀wọ̀ massacre òun lélẹ́yìí ọjọ́ burúkú ọjọ́ tí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ò ní gbàgbé láíláí òun lẹ̀ ń wò yẹn so ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré ka Ọ̀wọ̀ yẹn mo kí bàbá wa dé Ṣínà Bishop I just watched that 53-minute long program of Ọ̀túnba Oseni. I am highly disappointed with that man. I love Akintoye for being strong and adamant. Ìyá mi gbé mi lékè ọ̀nà àwọn tẹ̀tí wo èmi ò tẹ̀ wo 53 minutes yẹn èlé 53 seconds ìyẹn tẹ̀mí wò yẹn was just inú ìbéèrè wo nìyẹn kẹ̀ kábíyèsí Elédùmarè. Today in history, on this day last year 2022, terrorists invaded St. Francis Catholic Church in Owo City in Owo local government area of Ondo State, Southwest Nigeria. Mo gbé ọmọ mi dìde pé kó lọ síbẹ̀ kó lọ bá wa cover bẹ̀ after àti ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀. Shooting dead at least 40 worshippers. Òkú ti kú gan ṣá ní Nàìjíríà yẹn. Àbá tí Baba Akintoye ṣe sọ pé 29,000 Yorùbá people ló kú nínú ìjọba Buhari Ọkọ̀yà Fọláyan mú kí dáadáa. 40 worshippers, at least 40 worshippers and injuring 100 during the church service. Explosives were also used by the assailant during the attack that occurred just a year before the end of administration of former Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari. The Catholic Church was forced to close for a period of 10 months over security reasons and was only reopened for service just April 9. Kọ́lọ́run ọba Elédùmarè kó má jẹ́ ká rí ìrùkú bẹ́ẹ̀ mọ́. Mr. Fab ni I have been a regular viewer of Ben TV Wednesday program. Ọ̀túnbọ̀ Sani believes in one Nigeria. Okay? Ṣé gan ni? Maybe nígbà yẹn wọ́n lè ti change views wọn nísìn, but àmọ́ reason tó ṣe béèrè irú question yẹn lọ́wọ́. I mean any question can be asked. Bàbá Akíntóyè kò ń ṣe tí kò ń gbàgbé nǹkan kọ́lọ̀ má dẹ̀ kí bàbá yẹn gbàgbé ní títorí pé àdúrà wọn kan ni pé kí bàbá yẹn kó ṣáà máa ṣì sọ. Ibi tá a máa rí èso yẹn mọ lénìí a bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Star Radio tí a dẹ̀ sọ nípa bàbá Akíntóyè lẹ́tà náà níbẹ̀. Ẹ bá máa kí àwọn Star Radio team torí pé platform kan fún wa yẹn ó really help wa gan. Gbogbo tá à ń ṣe ló wà documented. Mo kí bàbá ìyá mi Pastor Mo Òkè Akáyọ̀dé mo kí I am always confused when Otunba continue to ask this question with every person would account for his struggle. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni èyí tèmi náà bá ṣe ní kọ̀rọ̀ àti tí mo ṣe ní gbangba ó wà lọ́wọ́ Elédùmarè. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni orin tí mo ṣe nínú kọ̀rọ̀ ìbájáde tí ń parọ́ fún yín ìyẹn kù sí mi àti ẹlẹ́dàá mi àti Elédùmarè lọ́wọ́. But tí ìbá dẹ̀ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ tó dẹ̀ jẹ́ pé orin tí mo dúró lé ni mo sọ pé ẹ jẹ́ ká continue then I don't have to worry myself. Mo kí Pastor Mo lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin bàbá wa ní Olúwa, mo kí gbogbo àwọn ọba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Bí ṣe sọ màá wá bá ṣe máa sọ fún àwọn ọmọ wa tó máa bá mi wáyàn èmi ò lè ṣe, tó máa bá mi ka kíní ní Yorùbá à lè gbé sórí platform wa. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ fi pé òun lè assist wa láti kà ní Yorùbá ẹ lè kà ní audio kẹka kẹ send ẹ̀ sí mi àwa convert ẹ̀ sí video because kò ń ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ló gbọ́ Gẹ̀ẹ́sì. Kódà English tí mo gbọ́ ní UK ṣe ni UK tún sọ pé tó bá máa gba document àwọn òwe kọ̀ọ̀kan fáwọn tó fẹ́ gbà náà wọ́n ní ẹ lọ ṣe English test. Mo ò rírú ẹ̀rí láyé mi kéèyàn fẹ́ gba indefinite stay kan ní kó lọ ṣe English test, kò fẹ́ gba visa alẹ́ tó fẹ́ gba visa wọ́n ní kó lọ ṣe English test and English dẹ̀ ní first language wa. So kí wàá ní benefit Nàìjíríà? Kí ni benefit yẹn? Wàá tún ní kó lọ ṣe translate of result ẹ. I mean the pain is just too much. Ṣẹlẹ̀ ìtẹ̀ wà nílé àwátàwáńtà náà we are facing a lot of difficulties, challenges even after 25 years, after 30 years. Ẹ mọ̀ kí mo sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá pé èmi dé ní before my 25 birthday dáàdi wa kàn send message sí mi wọ́n ní 850 làwọn kúrò Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n ní it was not easy but he has catch up. Can you imagine? Egungun ní 50 years old, I mean wọ́n sì ní 10 years láti fi sáré but Charlie compare sẹ́mi tí mo dé ní 20 because I was not 25 nígbà tí ma wọ̀ lùi. So that is the reason why tàṣí sọ fẹ́yìn tí ẹ wà lé pé kọ́wọ́ wọnú ẹ ṣe sùúrù ẹ má ẹ kọ́ mess up brain yìí. Bàbá Akíntóyè láì tán gbé wa lọ ó wà òkè kò sí kankan tó rán pẹ̀lú ẹ̀. Ojú ń kan yín lóòótọ́ but a ti sọ fún yín pé ẹ fún mi ní 500,000 people ká bọ́ sójú títì ká wà ń bẹ̀. But tá a bá ní ká bọ́ta ẹni ẹ fẹ́ wo mọ́tò ẹ fẹ́ ká send owó oúnjẹ sí yín ìwọ̀nba tá a bá dẹ̀ lè ṣe là ń ṣe nígbà yẹn and we did it, we tried. Millions of naira was sent home. Àwọn kan wọ́n ṣe ń tán ní ká ṣe àwọn kan wọ́n ṣe does not matter. Àwọn kan ní kí wọ́n ṣàkáǹtì ní ìyẹn ẹ má divert wa at the appropriate time. Journalist ẹ̀ ń dì pẹ̀lú wọ́n sọ fún yín rẹ́kọ̀dì kún bámbám bọ̀kí wọ́n jáde nísìnyí ṣé gbogbo owó tó ń jí Nàìjíríà wọ́n ṣàkáǹtì fún yín? Gbogbo owó tó ti jí nínú Nàìjíríà ta ló wá ṣàkáǹtì fún yín? So we are in a movement. Àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀mọ́ tó ń pè ní movement involved ṣé kí n jáde nísìnyí kí n máa sọ àwọn nǹkan mí fún yẹn nígbà ní sọ pé kó ìdíṣe orí ẹ̀ pé báyìí ṣá ta ló rán iṣẹ́ gbogbo èdè tó wọ́n sọ ní UI. And this is what we are saying to people ẹ ti fẹ́ sọ movement yẹn di àwàdà kẹríkẹrí ìyẹn làwọn ṣe ní accepted. Gbogbo àwọn tá a fún ní walkie talkie ní sẹ ẹlòmíì àmú nǹkan mi lọ tún lọ́dọ̀ fi ń ṣe it doesn't matter nítorí pé ní movement yẹn ṣé gbogbo walkie talkie ìtí àwọn ará níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ṣé inú ilé mi mo kó sí ṣé mo tà á ni ṣèbá sẹ́ndẹ̀ sílé náà ni inú ẹ̀ náà látún gbọ́ pé àwọn kan tó fi ń ṣe operation míì káà ní kọ́ ṣe. So but at the appropriate time everybody ma understand pé two ways òun ni movement. We continue in the diplomacy and negotiation and we will also prepare our mind for the worst case scenario. Bí worst case scenario ṣe máa rí ní mind ẹ̀ tiẹ̀ èmi kọ́ ni mo máa sọ yẹn mọ́. Mo ti sọ fún yín láti lẹ̀ pé ọ̀nà tá a máa gbà lélẹ̀ but mo ní wá sọ pé torí a máa gbọ̀nà yẹn kí n má wàá mú nǹkan mi pé ká má sọ. mo kọ́ lè ṣe máa jáde lójoojúmọ́ kí n máa dẹ́rù báyìí pé ogun when we can also continue on the negotiation part. It is entirely up to Tinubu to review and look into our communication with him. Mo ti wind down mo mọ̀ kó ti pé 3 hours so mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ gbogbo yín kọ́nà kó fún wa níṣe kó fún èmi náà ṣe kó fún ẹ̀yin náà ṣe ẹ fọkàn balẹ̀ kò séwu rárá kò sẹ́ni tó lè dẹ́rù bà wá lérò ìjà tuntun ẹgbẹ́ dání àwọn ọlọ́mọ máa dẹ́rù bà ara wọn ìyẹn àwọn politicians wa because àwọn ni wọ́n ní sùn torí àwọ̀ ní stop láti má máa educate yín kọ́nà ọba Elédùmarè gbogbo ẹni tó ń go through difficulties nílé. The difficulties is much, is big. Kò ń ṣẹ́yìn nìkan máa ń sọ èmi náà ní family nílé tó pọ̀. I cannot deal with all their demands. Kò possible. Mo dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí gbogbo yín wọ UK but UK náà fún ọ ní visa. Do you know how many people I want to cut bó ṣe wù mí pé káwọn èèyàn wọ UK lénìí? Ó ní wọ́n fún àwọn èèyàn visa. America náà wọ́n ní interview date. Àwọn yẹn tẹ̀ sọ pé 2 years ni. Mo mọ̀ èèyàn kan tó sì lọ tó fẹ́ apply wọ́n sọ pé kó má 2 years ni kó tó fún interview. Tó fẹ́ lọ Amẹ́ríkà kí ló dé ogun yìí ti fẹ́ pọ̀ jù wàhálà yìí ti pọ̀ jù ìjọ mélòó gan la fẹ́ lò láyé ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fún àwọn politicians àwọn tó rétí òdòdó pé ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ fọwọ́ kún kínní gbogbo tẹ̀yìn ṣe yìí temporary measure lẹ́ ń lò yìí eléyìí ò lè pé wa tó bá fọwọ́ kún wa ìtàn sọ yìí kíákíá la máa kúrò ní Nàìjíríà Tinubu ti débẹ̀ nísìn àti Tinubu ti débẹ̀ nísìn àti Ṣèyí Mákindé gbogbo wọn ló ń support Tinubu ọkàn dọ́gbọ́n ni pé PDP làwọn so ẹ má rẹ̀ ká dẹ̀ fàdúrà sílẹ̀ èmi ò ní jókòó síbí kí n máa sọ fún yín pé àdúrà wo la fẹ́ fi ṣe no but àyìn gbàdúrà fún Nàìjíríà yín waste time ara yín nobody should pray for Nigeria ẹ pray pé kí ìrìn àjò yẹn kó tètè lọ sí ibi tó yẹ kó lọ àníri jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ èmi náà ni Koiki Media ló ń pè Ọlá Yomi Koiki àwọn kan ní Koiki Media gbogbo wa pátápátá mo kí ọmọdé mo kí àgbàlagbà ẹni tí a bá dárúkọ ẹni máa Koiki ò dẹ̀ dárúkọ ẹ má bínú we pick those names at random and sometimes I don't see your name sometimes we see the names but we know you're there ẹ forget it èmi sọ fún yín pé built-in lèmi built-in ni tí bá ní mò ní wá lálẹ́ ó lè di 2 o'clock ìyàwó mi gan ni ibo náà promise àwọn òyìnbó máa jáde ó yá máa jáde so I can be out anytime but àwọn èèyàn máa ń fẹ́ sọ fún wa pé Koiki fún wa ní time tó máa jáde but like I always say at least ẹ bá ti mú mi láàárọ̀ pẹ̀lú Star Radio tí ìbá jáde lórí Star Radio mo ti sọ fún àwọn náà pé mo ní jáde ni because maybe some things that I'm doing at the behind àbádẹ́ ṣe Star Radio tán tí ìbá ti ní pé mo fẹ́ sáré jáde will always be here a ti ṣe program méjì láàárọ̀ yìí nígbà tí mo lọ sádùúgbò kan so I am always out there ìtókù ẹ pàdé mi lórí Twitter ẹ dẹ̀ pàdé wa lórí Facebook comment section mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń fi àdúrà tẹ́ fi ràn wá lọ́wọ́ èmi kọ́ lẹ̀ ń ṣe fún gbogbo à ń ṣe fúnra wa ni mo kí gbogbo wa pátápátá lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo fẹ́ play we don see Igboho yẹn ká tó máa lọ ni and when I come back we will play the anthem and we call it a day èyí náà tún lè lọ rest èyí náà lọ rest èyí máa ń sùn gan afternoon sleep ni mo fi ń ṣeré rárá because mo ti jí tipẹ́ so mo fi ń ṣeré rárá so that màá lè ní enough energy need energy mi yẹn kó máa burn dáadáa torí pé Tinubu débẹ̀ a ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ increase of the awareness àbájá Prince Adékúnlé mo kí yín lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí this is Koiki Media àbáyàn kankan jà àwọn tó disagree pẹ̀lú wa gan mọ̀ báwọn jà views wọn tó ń sọ yẹn lèmi sọ pé no kò work like that wọ́n lè disagree pẹ̀lú mi kémi náà disagree pẹ̀lú wọn ẹ jẹ́ ká padà wá mú un bọ̀. we don see Igboho ẹ ṣe gan bàbá mi Òkè Káyọ̀dé bàbá wa Ọládélé Ọlámilékan mo kí Àlùkà mo kí OBJ mo kí Yàwá Jagun Òmeyọ̀ mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin mídíà wa nílé. mo kí bàbá wa Kúnlé Ṣítà I'm gonna play the anthem now and then I'm a close it mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ kan sí without leaving anybody behind even àwọn tó ń gbọ́ mi tẹ́ pé àwọn tó ní version òmìnira 2020 mo mọ̀ pé wà lábẹ́ ètò ẹ máa fẹ́ wá gbọ́ kí ni mo máa sọ mo mọ̀ pé wà lábẹ́ ètò kàn comment mọ̀ ẹlòmíì tó lọ change orúkọ ẹ̀ kí ló lè tó yẹ nígbà tá a fi kú léra wa wọ́n dẹ̀ ní ṣó ẹ kórí bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ má fi kú lé anybody ní Nàìjíríà o ìgbàgbé dání ẹ̀ ní láti fi kú lẹ́ni àwa gan fi kú lé yà yín má fi kú lé anybody o mo máa ń sọ pé nobody has the monopoly of all that nídìí gbogbo yẹn o so ẹ máa ṣe ti yín ìwọ náà máa ń sọ do your own thing do your ẹ̀rí tẹ̀ bá pa mí tì do your own thing stop flagging technology ni kò sí nǹkan tó ń flag yín ẹ má waste time ara yín tó bá mọ tó ń pè technology ò ní máa pariwo pé kọ́ stop flagging kí ló ń flag program ò ní ṣe tó ń flag CNN gan wọ̀ flag ẹ̀ BBC gan wọ̀ flag ẹ̀ èmi gan wọ̀ flag mi so ìwọ ni stop flagging do your own thing do your lọ́wọ́ pé kí ló ṣe ìyá yìí kò mọ tó ń pè technology do your own thing stop flagging share òun náà dẹ̀ máa ń tọrọ owó lórí platform ẹ̀ Wálé Àlè yàrá àwọn Àwórì mo kàn dẹ́fẹ̀ ní sèyí tó bá lọ àwọn ohun Àwórì kọ òmìnira ti ṣubú pátá ó ti ṣubú tipẹ́tipẹ́ Tinubu náà ń ṣe gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì lọ yẹn ẹ má tètè mọ tẹ fẹ́ ṣe Tinubu náà ń ṣe gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì lọ yẹn ẹni ẹ máa gbé Adelekọ odò lónìí ẹ jẹ́ káwọn tó wà ní diaspora máa tàn yín àwọn tí lọ́bíṣẹ́ nísìn ìwọ tó wà lé tán tiẹ̀ bíi ṣúgà Ọ̀túnlá tèmi tó kéwò kí ẹ̀rí máa pa mí tí bá ti tọ̀dẹ̀ sí iṣẹ́ kórìbẹ̀ tí wọ́n rí stop flagging do your own thing kí ló ń tí wọ́n àdìẹ mú tẹ́lẹ̀ ta ló ń dìẹ̀ mú tẹ́lẹ̀ nígbà tó ń ṣe CNN wíyàn nìkan jẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ìbádẹ́ wo ìbákan ẹ jẹ́ wo wíyàn ẹ jẹ́ lọ àwọn tó jẹ́ subscriber àwọn kan tó yẹ pé a ṣe ń bẹ Ọlọ́run ni gbogbo subscriber mi ò tí tó 40,000 wíyàn ní 7.5 million followers subscriber wọ́n kì í sọ pé stop flagging technology ni ẹ bá rí ẹ má máa wo nọ́mbà anybody tó bá ń wò ìbàjẹ́ yàn mẹ́wàá ló wò kò mátà èwo ni stop flagging ẹ kó bóyá ṣe ń lọ ẹ mọ náà ń pè ní artificial intelligence mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀ nǹkan sí Koiki lèmi jẹ́ ó dàbọ̀. Stop flagging. Do your own thing. We dey do our own thing. Ṣé ẹ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀? Oh Lord God. Amen.
Ẹ má fojú ko eruku ata.
Eruku ata má fojú ko.
Abẹ́ ẹ̀fẹ̀ eruku ata tí o ti fojú ko. Bàbá wa ogun Nàìjíríà. Ẹ bá fojú ko ata ẹ lójú. Ẹ bá fojú ko eruku ata. Abẹ́ ń bẹ eruku ata tí o ti fi lórí jẹ́ o. Ọkọ̀ òfúrà ni. Yorùbá nation yìí ti gbogbo wa ni. Kó má gbọ́dọ̀ bàjẹ́. Torí kò sí lùdí.
Life is so funny. You come with nothing, then fight for everything, and later leave everything and go back with empty hand. God is powerful.
This has been Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep. It's been the 5th day of June 2023. It's just coming up to exactly 1 minute past 2. I say thank you so much to every single one of you that have joined us. Have a very great day and have a very great week ahead. Yoruba Nation no going back. Ile Yoruba ti duro. Bye for now.